Hey friends, this is Dolynny TV. Glad to have you aboard on a Saturday night as we get geared up for hockey between the Oilers and the Seattle Kraken. A preseason contest in which that I really don't care to be watching other than for the simple fact that there appears to be a line on this lineup sheet in the Oilers secondary unit there that, what is going on there? In between Sam O'Reilly, Corey Perry, and Vishili Podkolzin. Of course, Sam O'Reilly has been impressing at camp, and I'm excited to see what tonight translates to, playing with line mates that if he were to make the opening night roster on some off chance, those would be the two guys he's playing with. So looking forward to seeing what tonight has in store for us as we obviously get set up for the back half of the preseason schedule, and as well the back half of this long, arduous process that has been trying to figure out the last two remaining positions on the Oilers this season. So as we obviously get up and started tonight, friends, I would encourage you, there's a poll at the top of the chat to check out and let me know what you're thinking the Edmonton Oilers record will be. Quite simply for the Oilers, somewhere between 0 and 10 and better than 7-3 are your three options, and obviously we'll see what that all shakes out to give us here tonight. Again, as well, just to quickly go over the lineup, I believe it is out. I believe it is available on the Oilers main feed, so give me a second here to get that for you, as I think somebody had that here this morning. Lots of talk. Chris Knobloch, all those guys. The Edmonton Oilers tonight versus Seattle at home. There we go. RNH, McDavid, Hyman, Podkolzin, O'Reilly, Perry, as I mentioned. You've got Lavoie, Ryan, and Hoffman, all guys that, again, have NHL experience, so at least we're getting closer and closer to an NHL lineup. Pedersen and Philp and Savoy. So you've got kind of a lot of those guys have actually played some kind of NHL minute in their career. Ekholm, Bouchard, Dermott, Stetcher, Gleason, and Kemp are your defense. And then you've got Pickard and Rodrigue in net for the Edmonton Oilers here tonight. So you'll love to see it right there. We're going to get closer and closer to NHL lineups by game time on October 9th as these next few preseason games evolve along. So we're starting to get there. Don't worry. It's coming. It's coming at some point. We'll be there eventually. It's been a long preseason. I mean, quite honestly, I really have not cared for anything coming out of this preseason so far, simply because we know what the roster is. Yeah, minus plus a guy or two on one side of the forward group and one side of the defense. But again, I mean, there hasn't been so much talk about somebody standing out so much they stole a job already. And that's only because half the preseason's only done. But you got to figure for the Oilers, as I mentioned in a video earlier this week, it's simple, right? I mean, the decisions are probably already made. It's just go out there and impress and become the next call-up option or the next option on the depth chart, as opposed to what might also have occurred earlier in terms of winning a spot. So we'll see where that takes us here this evening, friends. And as well, I'll tell you, as we go along tonight, I will be heavy on the encouraging you to hit that subscribe button. You'll see this graphic here quite a bit tonight on the old live stream, just simply because we are getting buckled up for October 9th. We're getting buckled up for a good hockey season upcoming. See, this is why it's preseason. Even I can't talk yet, and we'll get through it together. But yeah, we're getting primed up for what's going to be an awesome hockey season this year. Obviously, this is truly the cup or bust year. I mean, hopefully the Oilers don't frame it as such so early on, but I think we all know where the expectation lies. There's only one trophy that's going to satisfy anything on our end as Oilers fans this year, and that's good news for us, I think, in terms of how good this team truly could be by the end of the season. So looking forward to having you along, and obviously hitting that subscribe button just helps you kind of get the videos a bit quicker. I know the old YouTube home feed has gotten much better over the past 2 years at suggesting videos from channels you've watched previously, but again, if you want to stay aboard, that's for sure. So for those of you that have just tuned in, good evening to you. Glad to have you aboard here this evening. We're starting about 4 minutes early from the live stream scheduled time. Again, that's usual here on the channel, right? I get antsy, I get agitated that I'm not already hitting the live button, and away we go earlier than expected. But For the Oilers actual event over on Oilers Plus, it will take about another 3 minutes and 25 seconds until we get there. So still plenty of time to kickstart your night and make that coffee, make that plate of wings, whatever you're doing on a Saturday night to have a good old time here in Oil Country as we get fired up for a game against the Seattle Kraken in this NHL preseason. So we continue along, friends. We've already gone over the lineup. I don't think there's much else really about this Oilers tonight that we have to worry about. Calvin Pickard will lead the Oilers onto the ice at Rogers Place tonight. The lineups, as predicted earlier on in the day by Bob Stauffer: Lavoie, Ryan, and Hoffman on the third line, Peterson, Philp, and Savoy on the fourth line. You already know the top two. We've talked about those. Ekholm, Bouchard, Dermott, Stetcher, and Gleason Kemp. So it that is an NHL defense core for the Oilers. Not necessarily saying the top six, but that is, I guess you could say, members of the top 10 if you really want to look at it that way. Dermott, we'll see what happens with him by the end of camp, but good to see him still sticking around here on his PTO. Peter, good evening to you. Good to be back. Yeah, and it feels good to be talking hockey again. I mean, it's just kind of crazy that it snuck up this fast, right? We finished June 24th, and here we are at the end of the day, already September 28th, getting ready. It's getting cold outside, frost warnings every single night now, and yeah, it just is what it is at this point. We are almost into October, so that tea is scorching hot. Give me a second to fix that. Take the lid off that and fix that real quick. But yeah, obviously we are almost to winter time here. We are almost in the heavy part of the schedule here, October, November, December for the Oilers upcoming to end the year. I think, what was I doing? Just some channel updates here, I guess. I think I calculated through the start of the 23-24 season. So last year where we rode off to Stanley Cup Finals glory there and came up a goal and a half short. I was averaging about, I guess, 4 live streams a month. So when you look at it that way, we should be able to bump those numbers up a little bit here this season. I'm expecting probably about 5 to 6 live streams a month. So go from about 12, 13 in the start of the hockey season to hopefully about 15 to 18. That would be a little bit better. Again, those first period live streams, those kind of happen as they happen because of previously scheduled stuff or whatever, but I do want to try and at least get live a couple of more times throughout the season, build up towards the playoffs a little better than we did last year, I think, and then get excited for what will be a great playoff run for the Edmonton Oilers. HD, what's with the Seth Jones rumors? I don't think they're rumors. I think it was some kind of bold prediction thing that Greg Wyshynski said. I still haven't seen the actual quote or anything on it, and quite honestly, I don't think I really care to, because how do you fit Seth Jones if you're not moving Darnell Nurse, and you're not moving Darnell Nurse, so it's not happening. Pretty simple on that front, I think. So we are going to try again, and we are going to load the Oilers plus Seattle Kraken live feed here and get going as Tony Brower and Paige Martin welcome us inside Rogers Place to get us fired up for tonight's broadcast, friends. So just like that, we are officially off and running over on Oilers Plus, and we're about set for Edmonton Oilers hockey tonight. Building looks a little empty here to begin warm-ups, but that's pretty typical for Rogers Place. Warm-ups really don't usually get the big crowd yet, because you got to fight through the crowds out in front of the gates and obviously find your section and all that. The Rogers Place is an absolute mammoth of a building, and there's a lot of ground to cover if you've never been. So that is where it's at, and we're getting the video of all the guys starting out there on warm-up. Brett, good to have you aboard from Australia again this season. And obviously, it's great to be back here just talking hockey, and that's what I'm really appreciative of for tonight, however long this live stream goes. Quite honestly, I don't know if I'm done after the first. I don't know if I'm done after 10 minutes. I don't really care either way. I'm just excited to see kind of talking hockey and getting ready for the season, right? And I think, too, the nice part is these preseason live streams are usually pretty mellow, pretty low drama. I think last year, the last 2 games, we kind of had a lot of drama because, man, oh man, did did Connor McDavid and the whole crew of the Oilers defense not look good. It was an ugly mess for the Oilers early in the preseason and then throughout the first 15, 25 games of the regular season. But thankfully we dug out of it and we got all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals. So not much complaining to be done on that front anymore. It's, as I said in that video earlier this week, is, again, if I'm going to sit here and complain about a terrible preseason that it's been framed as, we learned our lesson last year. I think it's quite simple. Don't put on the squirrel suit too early, right? If it's over and it's over, maybe the squirrel suit comes out, but it ain't going to be over until sometime in the last week of June again this year. So that's where we're going to take solace in the fact that the Oilers, no matter what they do, they're going to do good things this year. So looking forward to that. And Peter, in terms of doing the whole game, it all depends on kind of what happens here over the course of the evening. I've got a couple of text messages out to some family members looking to see what they're doing here this evening. So we'll see what the game plan plays out to be. But obviously excited just to be back talking hockey and getting things going on another live stream here to kick off the preseason. Obviously only my second one of the preseason all told, right? We had the Flames Oilers rookie game, and then now tonight talking about the Oilers and Seattle Kraken as it currently sits. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to kind of see how this all works out here tonight. These preseason live streams generally generate quite a bit of interest. I know Oilers After Dark, I think, has been able to secure the streaming on the Oilers stream here over on YouTube, so that's kind of changed the space a little bit this year compared to last year. But I'm excited to see kind of just how much excitement there is in this live stream for tonight's action. And Peter, you heard Doughty is out. Yeah, Doughty's out for a little bit, a few weeks or a month or something, or a few months, I'm not too sure. There's Noah Philp on our television sets right now talking with Paige Martin. Noah Philp's going to be an absolute player to watch this season for your Edmonton Oilers. He is going to be incredible in terms of his development, in terms of his next couple of steps here towards an NHL job, and possibly, obviously, playing on the fourth line here tonight, centering the fourth line in the near future for the Edmonton Oilers. The fourth line candidates all out there for the Oilers again tonight, so good news there. And Matthias Ekholm on the ice with Evan Bouchard. I would expect this evening that you see quite a difference out of Bouchard, Ekholm, Hyman, Nuge, and McDavid compared to that game against the Calgary Flames and that split squad disaster that we had. So, and Peter obviously asking as well, as the Oilers radio changing stations? No, Oilers radio is not changing stations. They are changing AM dials. So 630 CHED is going to be defunct on October 9th, switching over to a feed they're already on 880. So it will no longer be the mighty 630 CHED. It will be the mighty 880 CHED in Edmonton. So that's what you need to know. Daniel, good Saturday evening to you as well. And Toast, welcome back as we get things fired up for what should be a good hockey game tonight, just simply because it's Saturday night. It's a good time to have a good hockey game. And the Oilers should maybe actually start doing something here in these next few preseason games if they are as serious as they have indicated throughout the whole preseason about getting to where they're going earlier, not later in the season. So we'll take a moment here just to briefly look at this. All right, we're at 4.68. All right. There we go. It would appear we're back. My apologies, friends. Just a little glitch in the system there. Obviously, sometimes, on this rural Alberta internet, things sometimes jam out, but that's all fine and dandy. Tim, good evening to you as you join aboard here as we get things fired up. Sam O'Reilly, obviously poised for what is going to be an absolute stellar year with London. He should see a couple more preseason games with the Oilers. One might figure before things officially get underway for him in the OHL season. Phil Kemp, hopefully for him, some NHL time as well as he continues to develop here this year at 26, 27 years old for Phil Kemp. So he's going to kind of be that seventh defenseman, take on the road guy again, and hopefully play some more games this year compared to last year for the Oilers if possible. So Podkolzin out there, he had quite a year last year with the Abbotsford Canucks, 28 points, 44 games played, so playing a majority of his games last year with the Abbotsford Canucks. And then Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, a down year, 18 goals, 49 assists. But I tell you, if Connor McDavid's flying right out of the gate this year, Nuge is back at 100 points. No mistake about it, simply because if McDavid's flying and the power play is clicking early and the offense is actually doing its job in the first 20 games, Nugent-Hopkins doesn't have, just like McDavid, just like everybody else, as bad of a start to the season as possibly they did last year. So Olivier Rodrigue should see some playing time here tonight. He's played quite a bit in this preseason so far. And some Oilers fans, young Oilers fans, all pressed up along the boards here this evening. There's one young Kraken fan wearing a hat, but also a Connor McDavid old school 16-17 jersey there. The old orange instead of the traditional blue for the full jersey. And we've got about 7 minutes and 15 seconds to go in the pregame before we officially get things underway around 7 o'clock puck drop. So again, friends, thanks for coming back here on Dolynny TV. It's the first preseason game of the year on the channel. We had the Rookies game, the Flames game there the other week, but it's good to be back for what is actual NHL caliber hockey, and excited to see what Connor McDavid and company have for us on the top line here this evening as we get set up for the lineup one more time. If you're just tuning in, Nuge, McDavid, Hyman, Podkolzin, O'Reilly, Perry, Laval, Ryan Hoffman, Peterson, Philp, and Savoy, Ekholm, Bush, Dermott, Stetcher, Gleason, Kemp, Pickard, Rodrigue, splitting time in the net hopefully tonight as we continue to see those two guys get into game shape as 2 and 3 in the Oilers organization this season. Olivier Rodrigue, I'll tell you, I'm excited to see how much he develops in Bakersfield this year, maybe pushes and gets NHL time this year. That would be absolutely phenomenal if he could. And as well, I'll remind you right now, if you've just tuned into the live stream, friends, consider hitting that like button on the stream. Let me know if things are good so far, other than that one moment where I glitched out there for a second. But as well, I'll tell you, if you're new to the channel, I want you can take the whole live stream to do it, but I want you to consider hitting that subscribe button here on Dolynny TV, just simply to hang around for what's going to be a fun hockey season upcoming, what's going to be an amazing hockey season upcoming, and one where we shouldn't have to stress as much as maybe we did last year. So we'll stay tuned for that. But as we continue along here, friends, Stanley Cup predictions toast. I think for the Oilers, when it comes down to it, if Florida's not going to be as good, it should finally be the Oilers-Rangers Cup final we've been salivating over for the past 2 or 3 years now. It should be Oilers-Rangers at the end of the day if Florida just quite isn't what they were, right? They've lost a bunch of guys, and I think there is possibility that the Oilers kind of get right back there, no problem about it, because yes, there's guys nursing injuries, but there were last year as well, and there were guys struggling a lot more last year in camp than there are guys this year struggling in camp. So we should be good to roll right back to the Stanley Cup Finals so long as we live up to our potential. Because I don't think there's a team in the West by the time the second or third round gets around that can stop the Oilers if they are fully healthy. That's just plain facts on my end. We saw it last year, right? Vancouver thought they had us down and out. We rallied, killed them. And 7 there, and then obviously Dallas, that was a team that was supposed to absolutely destroy us, and we came through with the massive 6-game series victory. So excited to see what happens there. And end of the day is, I think, Peter, you can say Dallas is going to be very tough, but Dallas was supposed to be very tough last year as well. It's just, I'm hoping by the time you get to that third round matchup that it's the same case as last year, same case for maybe Colorado as it was against Edmonton in 22, is just one team just doesn't stack up to the other. And at this point, it should be the Oilers stacking over top of what other team is in that Stanley Cup series, or Stanley Cup Gateway Series. So we are going to continue along here, friends. We're rolling just about 4 minutes to go until the warm-ups are over on Rogers Place ice tonight. It's exciting to see all the fans back in the building. That was one thing that was so critical about going to Rogers Place for the first preseason game. And I tell you, I suffered. I suffered the first 2 days of this week past because going to Rogers Place for a fan day at basically 8 in the morning, and then obviously getting there and doing all that, standing in line for an hour, and then, oh my goodness, you're still there all day. Not that I'm complaining, it's just a long dang day, and ends up taking me all the way to getting home at about 11:30 down here in southern Alberta. And when you're home that late on a work night, and you're just getting home, not sleeping, you're getting home, that is a whole different ball game for a guy that usually is already sitting down to do a video around 5:30, 6 o'clock. So we'll see what happens. Vex, why isn't the game not on Sportsnet? Because the Oilers do not buy airtime for their preseason games. The only Oilers games that are ever on TV in the preseason, and the only games that have been on TV in the preseason in a long, long while, are the Vancouver Canucks games, because the Vancouver Canucks telecast crew buys airtime on Sportsnet to televise their preseason games. So the Oilers, they use it as a way to market Oilers Plus. Fair enough. There's going to be a lot of NHL teams that are marketing their Plus options for their online subscriptions this year, and that number is only going to keep growing as time goes on. So interesting to see what happens here with Oilers Plus this year. I think they had some pretty good content rolling out last year, so we'll see what happens this year as well. But Peter, going to the Capitals opening night, see, that's the thing. I think biggest thing is this year just getting to go to the season opener. I know last year it was very deflating to watch the Vancouver Canucks absolutely rip us apart in an 8-1 dummying, and that really set the tone for the first 2 months of the year. So hopefully Winnipeg doesn't quite do that against us. Maybe the Oilers light someone up 8-1 to start the year and really put a statement out there. That would be absolutely fantastic. And there you have it. Derek Ryan throws the puck to a young fan, high fives the guys going off the bench, and leaves. I'll have to try and run out to the car during the old intermission here, at least keep the live stream going until then, and show you off the piece of merchandise I grabbed from Oilers Fan Day. Pretty interesting, in fact, to have such a cool piece. And I think the next live stream I'll wear the little piece of merchandise as well that I picked up thanks to Patrick showing me that it existed. So we'll see where it is. Peter, since the Capitals' 50th season, it should be interesting. Yeah, that's the big thing, right? If you've never been, A, that's interesting. B, if it's something special. And that's why I'm going to the Oilers home opener, season opener this year, is simply because they're raising a banner, right? I don't think in my time going to Rogers Place, the Oilers have been able to raise a banner. So that's where I'm excited this year to be able to roll up to Rogers Place. We're sitting right behind where the banner will be going up in the second deck, and I'm just excited to be there and be in the crowd to see that banner go up for some really hard work, hard-earned work last year against everybody in the NHL to get all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals. So we got 5 seconds left in the pregame. Corey Perry's just slapping a puck around the boards and taking his time. He's now going to try and clean up the pucks, or he's going to dance with another puck here. He's the last guy on the ice right now, just having fun. So this is awesome to see Corey Perry putting on a little bit of a show for the young fans in attendance here right along the boards as he goes right there. And then he's talking to somebody on the bench trying to get a photo. We'll see that on social media in no time. But you've got now Tony Brower and Paige Martin getting things going here on the broadcast again this evening, as they seem to have appeared to have changed locations over the past year. I know they have the one studio up there in the Sky Lounge, and now this year seeming to be using a different area with kind of food in the background and some people rolling around an Oilers Plus banner there as well. So yeah, welcome aboard. Long time no see. Yeah, that's just it, right? It's been a long time since we truly really had a live stream on the channel. I know we had the rookie game, but yeah, we're trying to just kind of outrun that and get right into preseason hockey now, as we obviously are battling through the pregame of this game number 5 of the NHL preseason schedule for the Oilers against the Seattle Kraken. And I'm looking forward to seeing kind of where we go with that. And Peter, why haven't the Oilers retired number 94? He will only ever be a Oilers Hall of Fame member, not a retired jersey number, Ryan Smith, simply because for the Oilers, the criteria is win a Stanley Cup and enter the Hall of Fame. So, yeah, you can argue that that criteria will change when McDavid and Draisaitl retire with or without a cup. But I can argue that McDavid and Draisaitl, under their new contracts, will both have at least one, if not two, Stanley Cups and a Hall of Fame entry in the NHL Hall of Fame by the time they are done this here with the Oilers this next few 8 years, I guess, 8-9 years that we got coming up. Draisaitl's extension obviously kicking in next summer, and then McDavid and them negotiating next summer as well. But as we continue here, friends, we're seeing things kind of pick up here on the live stream this evening, and glad to welcome you back into the channel for the first time, maybe, or the second time this year if you caught the Oilers rookie game. But as we get queued up, it's just going to be a fantastic night to have some hockey on a Saturday night where it's starting to feel like fall down here in southern Alberta. I don't know how it's all going up there in Edmonton or northern Alberta, but obviously down here it's starting to cool down, it's starting to get frosty at night, and it's starting to be a little bit not so fun in the mornings when you go out and start rolling around in something just like this, or a t-shirt, or whatever the case might be. Take the garbage can or garbage to the can, or whatever you need to do, right? So we'll see where it is. Michael, welcome aboard as we continue to get things rolling here. I want to see if the Oilers have posted that Corey Perry photo yet. That looked like it was going to be an absolutely fantastic one. It wasn't posted yet. So we'll see if the Oilers use that for something here. So, yeah, that's where it is currently at right now for the Oilers. Obviously, we're just about 10 minutes away from puck drop against the Seattle Kraken, and we'll see where that's going. And Peter asking on the thoughts on Stan Bowman as Oilers GM. Again, it is what it is, right? I had no say in the process. I had nothing that I could do about it. So it is what it is, and it's up to Stan Bowman to prove why he got the job, and we'll see where that goes, right? I think that's as simple as I can make it up. Everyone's entitled to their own opinions, but that's as far as I'm willing to go and discuss it, because again, I don't care who you are. The only job I care that you do right now at this point is that you win the Oilers the Stanley Cup. And again, is Stan Bowman the guy to do it? Was another year of Ken Holland, was he going to be the guy to do it? I don't know, but you just got to get it done at this point, and that's what I'm hoping for. So we'll see where that goes. And Gav, yeah, that's just the thing, right? It's just starting to turn season the other way down there in Australia right now. I know my friend down in Brett's Australia, Gav's down there in New Zealand. My friend in New Zealand that I talk to semi-weekly kind of deal. Things obviously heating up down there right now, and it's kind of funny, right? Is southern Alberta still having the 20-degree days? New Zealand's starting to heat up down there, so exciting to kind of see the seasons flip-flop and at least be able to dream of the summer during the winter when I'm getting those photos sent. Oh, look at how beautiful it is today. Oh yeah, I wish. Clay, good evening to you, Oil Collector, as well. I'm excited to have you aboard again as we get things going here this evening. And yeah, we'll see how long it takes to obviously drop the puck tonight. Sorry, friends, if I'm just yammering on about nothing at this point, but there ain't much to yammer on about. Can't obviously play the sound off the TV, so it just will be what it is to start tonight's action. And they're showing the highlights of Sam O'Reilly scoring that goal at Rogers Place way back at the start of the preseason. That was an absolutely electric moment. That was fantastic for him, I must say, to see him go out there and get that goal. So excited to see him back in action here tonight. And you just look at how that play developed, right? Sam O'Reilly wide open in the middle, a good little back skate, and then turns on the Jets with his edge work, and away he went across the blue line, beat the guy out wide on the far side, and just kept the shot low and scored the goal. And that's all that really matters for a young kid, is put the puck on net when you get the opportunity to, and make sure you're in the right position when you can be. And that's how it all translated out for him. So we'll hopefully see Mr. Sam O'Reilly continue to impress. I don't know if O'Reilly's necessarily going to make a lineup spot for himself this year, but clearly if he gets a 3 or 4 game trial at the start of the NHL season, it wouldn't be the worst thing. I think, Matt Savoy's a guy that you want down at the AHL level just to kind of lead the Bakersfield Condors, because they clearly need some offensive help. So hopefully that shakes out there for the Oilers in terms of getting a young guy that can be an impact player on Bakersfield, develop the pro game, gain some muscle, gain some size. And then, yeah, you got Sam O'Reilly, a 3 or 4 game stint, and then bang, you know what? You got Derek Ryan rested up a few games, and your season officially starts about 5 or 6 games in when you kind of solidify your roster after sending down Sam O'Reilly. I could see it. We did it with Evan Bouchard. The Oilers have a history doing that with the London Knights, so it would definitely be interesting to see. So, and Gav, I 100% wish, right? That's where down here in the basement I got the fireplace going when it's about December, January. I got the old hot drinks going. Even tonight I've got a cup of tea roll in here just simply because I figured I'd change it up. I'm going to try and drink a few less Pepsis throughout the regular season, try and get to the point of maybe drinking the Pepsi only come playoff time on the live streams. We'll see how well I stick to that, you know me. But as we continue along here, friends, I continue to see a pile on in the live stream. So if you're new to the channel, again, I promised you I'd be aggressive with this here, and I'll be aggressive again. I'm averaging about 1 ask every 10 minutes at this point. But if you're new, I'd consider hitting that subscribe button here on the channel, just simply because love to have you aboard. It's going to be an absolutely fantastic season to be an Oilers fan. And the more we can celebrate that together, you know it's going to be a good time. So that's where we're at as we continue along. We're watching the episode of The Drop as Sam O'Reilly got drafted. All the hugs, all the elation about being drafted. He's talking with, obviously, Tony Brar as well in the interview. And trying to get through everything. That is a special moment, that NHL draft, to see Sam O'Reilly become an Edmonton Oilers player. I was sitting there with my friends on July long weekend, and it's like, we're not doing anything on the Oilers tonight. And then, boom, all of a sudden the Oilers trade for Sam O'Reilly, and just like that, it was get up and go time for the Edmonton Oilers and Jeff Jackson. So, Perry, good evening to you. And Toast asking about the Patrick Laine injury. It didn't look good, but again, I think the problem is Patrick Laine has been so unlucky that maybe he'll be lucky this time out. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping he'll be lucky and be able to skate on it tomorrow and see how it feels and be back ready for the home opener for the Montreal Canadiens, because that's a huge addition that they got in Patrick Laine, and they need something out of that. Rose, good evening to you as we continue things on the live stream. Again, for those of you just tuning in the lineup, Nuge, McDavid, Hyman, Podkolzin, O'Reilly, Perry, Lavoie, Ryan Hoffman, Peterson, Philp, and Savoy, Ekholm, Bouchard, Dermott, Stetcher, Gleason, Kemp. Those are 6 of the top, if you want to say it, 10, top 12 defenders in the Edmonton Oilers organization. I think top 10 is fair, just given the fact that you're kind of missing one guy in particular, that being the fact that Dermott is on a PTO. So, yeah, that's where we'll continue along here, friends. We are rolling into just about game time here, about 5 minutes away. During warm-ups, featured a couple of special visitors on the bench there for the Edmonton Oilers. You like to see it right there. Some youngsters getting the old fist bumps from all the Oilers players. And where are we at? I don't think there's anything else to worry about. I think there's some college football going on as well. Yep, there you have it. So, okay. I don't think there's much else to really add at this point, friends. We're just about up and done the pregame. Of course, the Oilers, I guess right now would be the time to ask about score predictions when it comes to how this Oilers game is going to turn out. I don't want 42 votes on the earlier poll on the chat. We've got 48% voting for a better than 7-3 record. 19% say it's going to be less than 500, so that's interesting to note there as well. The Oilers' first 10-game record, 47% on the 7-3, 33 better than 5-5, and then of course 19% somewhere between 0-10 and 5-5. All right, we got Noah Philp, who had 19 goals, 19 assists in the AHL in 22-23. Philp talked about this in the preseason interviews, talking about how he had about 6 months where he was just skating, getting better, getting more with it, I guess you could say, after taking some time off traveling. He was just kind of getting going and just getting rolling. And of course, the nice part is he wasn't getting banged up doing it like the guys at the NHL level. So compared to some other guys in the Oilers lineup, he might have a leg up just because he was healthy, skating, doing some workouts and stuff like that, and still being able to rest and recover properly, as opposed to some NHL veterans who were going through the grind of a Stanley Cup Finals run. So here we have it. Stranger, anyone know if Seattle's streaming tonight's game? They probably are. The problem is it probably is region locked, right? It works for the Alberta games when the Flames are doing it, but if the out of market teams like the Jets, Canucks obviously televise theirs, or Kraken are not televising, it kind of makes it difficult. Although, Stranger, I would tell you to go check out Oilers After Dark, who may have the live stream we're all watching on Oilers Plus available on YouTube for free. So that may be an option to you as well as we approach game time here, friends. Just about 3 minutes to go. The Oilers lineup will feature the top power play unit this evening. I know that's kind of been the way it's billed throughout the preseason. The other time they took to the ice for the Oilers in that game against the Calgary Flames that, oh boy, did not quite go so well, right? That was a rough start to the preseason for Connor McDavid and company. Again, only up from here, and that's the way the Oilers operated all last year, so hopefully they can roll that. Calvin Pickard was 12-7-1 with a .245 goals against average and a .909 save percentage last year. That is good goaltending numbers. You've got a grand total of 20 games played, and your backup goaltender got you, out of a possible 40 points, he got you 25. Those numbers will get you into the playoffs. That's what they were talking about on the broadcast on the Oilers radio network on 6:30 CHED the other day, gearing up for the Winnipeg game. So that's awesome. And that McDavid guy looks good so far. Peter's just trolling around out there. You love to see it. We're starting to get into early season for him, I guess you could say, missing the context of a comment before I read it. But as we continue along here, friends, again, I will tell you, if you haven't already hit that like button on the stream, make sure to do that here this evening. Again, this won't show the actual game, but it would be something just to at least fill you in, like Stranger is saying there. So we are just about to game time, 6:59 on the clock. Tony Brower wrapping up the preseason pregame show, and then we should roll over as we get the Seattle Kraken lineup. McCann, Beniers, Winterton, Karche, Gord, Tanev. You got Bureau, Myers, Melanson, Edwards, Sales, Stevens, and Hayden. So a pretty up and down lineup up front. Evans, Borgen, Olofsson, Brushwitz. You got Fleury and Otavainen on the defense there for Seattle. Grubauer and Stezka in net for Seattle. Grubauer will get the start for Seattle tonight, so keep that in mind. The Oilers will be up against tougher competition in Philip Grubauer than maybe some AHL backup or AHL starter quality goaltender. But Tony Brower is about to flip us over and get us going for tonight's action here on Oilers Plus as he winds things down on the broadcast here. And we are ready to rock and roll as he's tapping the desk here. I don't know what he's talking about. He's smiling though, so he's going to hit the salute button and away we go as we get set for tonight's action here on Oilers Plus. The Oilers closing in on getting the job done in this preseason, on the back half of stuff now. So, Peter, are the Golden Knights still a contender? I think the Golden Knights, no matter what happens under owner Bill Foley, will always be a contender because simply he will do whatever it takes to make sure that happens. He's kind of opened the floodgates that way as an owner, and be interesting to see if they ever really truly regress to a point of maybe 2 or 3 missed playoff appearances in a row. But again, it's not going to help them because they just don't have their first round picks either. So the nice part is if they ever go through a rebuild, all us crazy Canadians will just go down there and enjoy a cheaper NHL game in Vegas and fill up their building for them anyway every time we go down. I know Vegas is kind of where all us Western Canadians go. I don't know if Vegas is necessarily a place where Torontonians or Montrealers go, but yeah, you know what? I would love to see Canada kind of go out there and just get some cheap tickets in the States in a place like Vegas, in a building that's as fantastic as theirs, right? I think when you're talking about the best buildings in the NHL right now, it is Rogers Place, It is T-Mobile Arena in Vegas, and obviously it's the Arena Climate Pledge Arena in Seattle. I know that they're the newer buildings, but they are some pretty dang good buildings, and top 3 in my mind for sure. So that's where we're at. The Oilers are about to hit the ice here for the anthem this evening. As leading us out is Calvin Pickard, who will lead us out about 25 times this NHL season, hopefully. Stuart Skinner somewhere in that 55 to 60 game mark, and then of course Calvin Pickard leading us out the rest of the time as he hits the ice at Rogers Place. The crowd buzzing here for what should be a very good preseason matchup against the Seattle Kraken. Kind of the same level of talent in the lineup, up, down, and throat. If you look at it, obviously the Oilers have the edge because of McDavid, Nuge, and Hyman, but you get where I'm going there for that. So this is going to be exciting to see what happens as the Oilers are rolling around out there and getting going, as this is a cell phone shot of some guys hitting the bench there. And here we have it. The Oilers ready to rock and roll for the preseason here. Tonight, the starting lineup for your Edmonton Oilers. Oh, it sounded like I'm in the building or something even. As Ryan Nugent-Hopkins will start at left wing. Again, 67 points last year. Expect that to eclipse 100, as this will be Zach Hyman as well. 54 goals, 23 assists, 77 points for Mr. Zach Hyman. And as well, you've got Mr. Connor McDavid on the center position. 32 goals, 100 assists. I guarantee you he hits 145 points or more this year. I won't set the line at 150, but I'll set it at 145. Evan Bouchard, he will once again be a point-per-game defenseman and probably score 20 goals this year. Matthias Ekholm, how about him? 11 goals, 34 assists, 45 points last year. That is exactly where I expect him to get to again. And Peter, in terms of how many goals from Mr. Zach Hyman this year, didn't really mention that. Zach Hyman, I expect him to be somewhere around 35 to 40. I doubt that we get 50 again, but I wouldn't expect otherwise either. So it's kind of 35-40 is the safe number, and I'll take that right now as we get set for O Canada. The officials at center ice here ready to rock and roll as Rob Clark about to take to center ice for the national anthem to begin tonight's action. And then we'll get things officially going here. As first off, of course, we have our land acknowledgement from Chief Willie Littlechild, who gets things going for us every single game at Rogers Place and on every single broadcast across Sportsnet usually. So are we ready to do this or what? I guess that's the only question. Are you ready to buckle up and have some Edmonton Oilers hockey back on YouTube? Well, I guess I am. I guess I'm going to have to be if I signed up to live stream tonight. But the land acknowledgement up and over, friends. Let's take a quick look, see where we're at to begin tonight's live stream, and then we can get going here on tonight's broadcast as we're at 709 times 3.6. How about this? We're up over 42 hours watched on the stream so far tonight. Thank you so much for spending your pregame with me. If you're about to go tune out and tune into the game, but Robert Clark, the anthem singer, getting us going for this evening's action as he's belting out the lyrics and the tunes and the dulcet tones of can you say the what would you say, the anthem of the United States. I was messing that up all day and I tried to save it. So we are rolling for some images of the Seattle Kraken, who will get us going this evening as the team the Oilers will face in this evening's contest in Edmonton. Of course, the Seattle Kraken looking to have a much improved year over last year. Just really doubtful that it happens, as who really can see them improving much in the Pacific Division that other teams maybe have improved more than them. I think as well it's going to be interesting to see what a team like Utah can manage here this season. So Grubauer in net. He will get things started for the Seattle Kraken this evening. So that's where it's at. And Rob Clark just taking us through the last little bits of the U.S. national anthem. It is up and done, and we are about to switch over to O Canada now this evening. As Slushy, where can you watch this? It is on Oilers Plus this evening. As the Oilers preseason games, they do not buy television rights to broadcast, so that's where it's at. They broadcast on their own Plus edition, which is OilersPlus.com. is where you're able to catch the game, or check out Oilers After Dark. I know they've had some preseason live streams so far this year, so that would be as well. I'd encourage you to go over there. So there it is as we get things going. And Peter, I know Star Spangled Banner is the name of the song. Yeah, I butchered that one hard. I was walking myself to defeat the whole way through. So yeah, not my proudest moment. Again, it's preseason for everybody. Bear with me, my friends from America. We'll get things going, and we'll try not to dishonor the old Seattle Kraken too much here tonight, as Calvin Pickard is in net for the Edmonton Oilers. And we'll see we'll see what else I goof up here throughout the broadcast as we get things rolling for Robert Clark's final tones of O Canada. He brings down the house as he does every single performance. And there you have it. We are set to get things going against the Seattle Kraken this evening. It's the Oilers. It's Seattle. It's game time down at Rogers Place this evening as we'll get things going for Connor McDavid, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and Zach Hyman on the top line this evening against the Seattle Kraken. The game time getting going here as we'll get set for what should be a perfect broadcast for the Oilers tonight in terms of just getting hockey on a Saturday night, right? I think that's fair. I think that's favorable, and I think we're ready to rock and roll. So the Oilers just about ready to get things going, and for some reason it looks like my stream might have froze. Nope, they just forgot how to operate the graphics clock, as Hunter up in the suite sections there, jumping around, having a good old time. Philip Grubauer, 36 games played, 14 wins last year. Not a great year in Seattle for anybody, him included, as Calvin Pickard less than a win per 2 games played, but again, just kind of, or I guess about even there, as Seattle wins the faceoff. They'll rim it inside the Oilers zone. Matthias Ekholm backs it up along the near side wall. It's chipped out into the Seattle zone. That will skate all the way down into Seattle's end for an icing call just 14 seconds into the game. And I can tell you, it might be preseason, but the Oilers are back, baby. A 14-second or less icing call in to take the face-off inside their own zone after the opening draw of the game. That is absolutely where we find ourselves. So don't mind that at all. But here we go, face-off near side. Evans back to the blue line. The shot fired through, tipped en route, and it was Calvin Pickard with a big save there as it comes to the near side now. A nice bumper play there by Hyman. He was going to load up McDavid, didn't like that option. Now he gets it back from the defense. Here's Hyman down the wing. The shot off the toe of Grubauer as that one darted to the far side boards. McDavid back to the point, gave it away, and this will be fired off to the far side boards by McCann and fired back in to the Oilers territory as this is Pickard over to the far side defense, back near side for Bouchard, up through the middle. Bouchard gets it onto the tape of a Seattle Kraken who fumbles it, and now it's the near side play for the Oilers trying to steal it back. Seattle was able to evacuate the zone into the neutral, tip it back down low into the Oilers' end. Nice play there to get the puck over to the far side corner. Seattle possesses. A puck stolen away there, I think, by Sam O'Reilly. And this will be a shot fired, blocked in front again off of somebody by the shot of Seattle. And this continues to bounce around here. I'm not used to the pace here, friends. My goodness, this is where I'm struggling. It's going to take some time to get back to regular season form as this puck will go all the way into the Oilers' offensive zone. Seattle able to pick it up behind their own netminder Grubauer up through the middle. The puck glances off an Oiler in the neutral zone across the line. Seattle keeps it alive. Banged up off the glass there. Derek Ryan backhands over to the far side boards, and it'll be an escape in the zone. And Ryan and the fourth line loading up here. Shot save made by Lavoie. And I guess realistically every line's the fourth line. Hoffman, Lavoie, and Ryan are as much of a fourth line as you would consider Podkolzin, Podkolzin, O'Reilly, and Perry. As that was a really good looking shot by Hyman a minute ago, firing it off of the toe of Grubauer, and then Mr. Raphael Lavoie getting a shot on net and bouncing it up over top into the netting. So a face-off with 18:10 to go here in the offensive zone. It'll be Derek Ryan. It will be Raphael Lavoie and Mike Hoffman, who just tapped a puck wide of himself. It'll go back into the neutral zone where Phil Kemp led it back into the Oilers' end as they try to reset the attack here. Nice play through the neutral. The Oilers quickly tip it back in. No, it's shut off there. A good play by Seattle. And now Seattle players falling down. That'll allow the Oilers to fire a dangerous shot towards the net that missed wildly to the right, and it'll be picked up near side by Bouchard again, who will come up through the middle and connect there. A shot fired back into Seattle territory. Puck is rolled up along the wall. An Oilers player falls down with it. Noah Philp comes to aid. Seattle comes up with the puck once again. The puck goes over to the far side boards, up now in front of the benches. And a nice play by Matt Savoy keeps the puck alive. Philp stayed on side. The shot towards the net stretched out the Seattle defense, but they ultimately blocked it and got it down the ice all the way a foot left of Calvin Pickard for the icing call as Bouchard touches up, and we'll stop things up. And Toast, if you're watching the Oilers Plus live stream and wondering why it's lagging, I'm wondering the exact same thing. It is struggling a little bit out there, and it's been a little choppy to watch so far, but we'll survive here. No big dealio so far, as we're only 2 minutes and 50 seconds into the game. As here's McDavid in the face-off dot, loses that one, didn't really even try after the sticks went down. And here's Ekholm batting it up back into the neutral zone, as that'll be picked up by Seattle on a weak play. Shot fired off the toes of Matthias Ekholm. Seattle again rescues that puck inside the offensive zone. A nice little stick play there by Bouchard, gets it up to Hyman, and here comes McDavid, full flight backhand across for Nuge, scores! Just like that, the top line connects early and, well, hopefully often tonight to make it 1-0 as Nugent Hopkins, I told you, if he gets an opportunity to shoot the puck and McDavid's making those passes like he can, he's going to score a lot of points this season. Nugent Hopkins rifles one over top of Philip Grubauer into the back of the net. Oh man, McDavid with a perfect pass over to Nuge through two guys, and then a perfect play, as I thought McDavid was going to drive that in, but Nuge instead snaps that shot and fired it home. And a nice little play by Zach Hyman as well, as Grubauer beat over the right shoulder. And just like that, the Oilers lead 1-0, 16:52 to go in this first period of play. 3-2 the shots on goal for the Edmonton Oilers early on in this game. Here's Perry. He's winding up a slap shot right into the midsection of Philip Grubauer. He'll hold on to that one in the glove as Corey Perry off the opening draw following the goal got a good looking opportunity, and you love to see that. You want to see a line that Sam O'Reilly is centering, driving offense and playing in the offensive zone as much as possible. That's going to do just good things for him. Ace, good evening to you. Glad to have you back in for another year here. What's that? Year 7 already counting, as the Oilers will backhand this one inside the offensive zone again. There's a big hit by Podkolzin. A shot fired towards the net, scrambled up in the crease. Perry's creating chaos, but Sam O'Reilly, just the wrong-handedness there to keep that puck alive. And then it tangles up right by the Seattle blue line as McDavid and Hyman draw the assists on the Ryan Nugent-Hopkins marker. This shot fired by Jared McCann, glove hand save for Calvin Pickard, and we have got things rolling here early on, just 4 minutes into this hockey game tonight, as the Oilers and the Seattle Kraken rolling along early on at Rogers Place, as McCann fired that one right into the glove. Not really that dangerous of a shot. They continue to show the replays, but Calvin Pickard, steady Eddie right at the top of the blue paint there, making that save and keeping us going here early on in tonight's action. Again, friends, good evening to you. If you're just tuning in, glad to have you aboard here on the channel this evening. The Oilers lead 1-0, as you see on the scoreboard there. That's the nice part about preseason, not rookie games. We actually have a scoreboard again, as this comes into the near side corner. The shot coming out of the corner, blocked there by the Oilers defense. I think Phil Kemp might have ate the stick of an opponent, but no call upcoming as Seattle regroups inside their own zone. A shot up through the middle, across to the far side. A pass from Gord, shot fired, misses wide. And Seattle would love to have that open look again, as here come lumbering back the other way. Raphael Lavoie across the line, lost the handle. Love the motion towards the net, though. He was definitely charging into the offensive zone with authority. Seattle sets up a shot, and Calvin Pickard will grab that one out of the air with glove, making steady Eddie glove hand saves, which we know that Oilers goaltenders sometimes struggle with that. So not a bad couple of looks there, as this is a good looking mid-zone pass, and it resulted in a shot against Calvin Pickard, and the Oilers are just turning the puck over low inside their own zone. A couple of sloppy plays there as I'm trying to recover that shot, tipped wide by Seattle. They're just firing everything towards the net. Noah Philp is under duress in his own zone. He'll flip this one up off the glass and out. And again, for a Noah Philp-like team, I wouldn't mind seeing that. And we have a slashing call upcoming here against the Seattle Kraken or against the Oilers? Yeah, against the Oilers. Against Seattle. Sorry, the board's weird. They've got penalty time instead of power play time. It's against Seattle there, slashing on Noah Philp. Again, it's preseason for everyone, and this is a different broadcast than we watch in the regular season, so don't mind me. The Oilers power play ranked 4th last year. Here's Bouchard at the top of the zone over to Nugent Hopkins. The shot towards the middle of the zone there by Connor McDavid, trying to flip one maybe up over the shoulder of Grubauer high and tight. As the Oilers again get it inside the offensive zone down low. Nice play to the near side for Hoffman. So the Oilers obviously the top power play unit not out there. Missing Draisaitl after all. Hoffman will walk it off the boards as they continue to play pitch and catch. Here's Bouchard. Loaded up a shot and just missed, whistling that one inside the near side on Grubauer. As here's McDavid with 33 seconds gone on the power play across to Hoffman, who continues to get power play time in this Oilers training camp, as this will be a battle along the wall. Nuge back to the blue line for Bouchard. Bouchard looking for an option. He's going to feed back to Nuge near side. Nuge doesn't quite go down to the dots. Here's teeing up McDavid and Bouchard. Neither guy goes with it. Bouchard back at the point. He's going to walk over back to McDavid. McDavid overfed it to Nugent Hopkins. Back to the point for Bouchard over to McDavid. The boys are just basically playing with him now. Here's Nuge, the one-timer. Shot blocked in front as Nuge continues to show that he's not going to be afraid to shoot the pill this year. As here's McDavid looking for Nuge in the middle again. Here's over to Hoffman, kicked off his skate, and then a missed pass goes into the neutral zone, all the way back down to Cal Picard, who will pick it up for Evan Bouchard, as I'm sure wholesale line changes up front completed for the Oilers. Bouchard skating through the neutral zone. He will go off for a line change, kind of walks it near the bench. Inside the zone now, the Oilers take a crunch there along the wall. It's going to be Raphael Lavoie playing it down low for Matt Savoy. Back to Lavoie. Lavoie back to the blue line, turned it over, and that should pretty much do it for this Edmonton Oilers penalty or power play, as Cal Picard will be forced to pick up the puck and hold on to it. So, kind of a slow power play with a lot of good looks for the Oilers. Not used to them whipping around the puck that much, and I mean, Evan Bouchard just missed pumping that one in. He had a third of the net wide open, as you see there through traffic, and just a tough finish there. And then the Oilers obviously got a good look there from Nugent Hopkins on the near side dot as he tried to pump that one through on the face-off circle. So we continue along here this evening, friends. We're obviously 6 seconds away from the penalty coming to an end, and this will be flipped by the Oilers across the line to Samuel Riley down the wing. Riley shoots off the side of the net, into the corner it comes. A nice play there by Podkolzin to crash and bang to try and come up with that puck. Podkolzin back to the blue line for Kemp. Kemp will fire down low over Lavoie. Lavoie fought off that puck and loses hold of it. And here comes the guy out of the penalty box for Seattle as he's got the puck now. He'll back it into the neutral zone. Seattle down the wing. Fires into the Oilers' end on the right side as Phil Kemp able to come up with it. Bang off the glass and out back in the neutral zone. Perry, I think, is offside by a mile, so it will be an icing call against the Edmonton Oilers with a 1-0 score, 12:37 to go here in this first period of play. The Oilers obviously doing a pretty good job early on, making it of what they would, as definitely could have worse starts to the hockey game. You've got a power play, you've got a goal, you got 8 shots, and we've only got less than 8 minutes gone here to begin tonight's hockey game. So that power play was rather effective for the Oilers in more ways than one, kind of getting the juices flowing early on with the top guys out there minus Draisaitl. Pucks into the near side corner in the Seattle zone. Corey Perry went chasing after it. Here come the Seattle Kraken over the blue line, tipped in there, fired to Calvin Picard, who will backhand along the near side corner. A couple of bounces there until it's ultimately freed up for Derek Ryan, and back the other way it comes as forced across the line into Seattle territory. Ryan's going to bump a guy there, try and free up the puck. He does. Back to the blue line, the shot by Dermott. A good save by Grubauer there, able to stop that one in heavy traffic, and then Derek Ryan trying not to take a hooking call will eventually free up the puck ultimately, and here comes Stetcher as he'll fire it up off the boards. And to be honest with you, I don't want to see Stetcher one bit tonight. I want to not even notice that Stetcher exists, because that'll be doing what he needs to do for me this evening. Here's Bouchard with the puck now, back over on the ice following the power play. as Philp out there, he's battling for that puck. He might have been able to free it up if he had skated a little harder back towards the blue line. As here's Picard after the dump into the zone, turns the puck over. Philp able to just hold up traffic, and Bouchard ultimately turns it over high in the zone as Seattle continues zone time to the far side blue line. The shot fired, tipped in front, bounces around, still scrambling in the crease, jamming away. Seattle scores. Just like that, it ends up in the back of the net as Myers might have ultimately put that one home. As no, they're instead going to give it to 63 between the Seattle Kraken offenses down the bench as he goes. But 11:08 into this first period, Seattle has evened the score at 1. So that was a tough sequence in front of Picard, who just never quite fully grabbed hold of the puck and then fell over on top of something in that blue paint. And that's a tough scramble in front as Picard thought he was going to cover it, and then ultimately it was chipped up over top of somebody into the back of the net. So 1-1 our score with 9-8 the shots. The offenses came to play tonight, friends. If you're enjoying that, definitely it's going to be a good night. So here we go. Face-off won by the Oilers, fired back into the Seattle zone. Along the near side wall, Philp comes crashing in, trying to battle that one for years. No, that's Zach Hyman, sorry. I saw the 8, and that's what I thought, as this one comes along the far side boards into the Oilers zone for an icing call, and Seattle was pursuing that one in hot. But ultimately it's an icing, and that's where we leave it. So we continue. It's only 9 minutes and 10 seconds gone here in this first period of play. That's crazy in essence. So we'll see how it all shakes out, but the Oilers obviously doing a good job here early on to keep the momentum up. Yeah, that goal again sucks, but hey, you know what? That's pretty hard-working, hard-earned goal by Seattle, so we're not going to complain too much, as after all, it is only preseason. As well as Seattle across the line again here. Phil Kemp erases the man along the boards. And then it will be McDavid to the middle of the ice. Hyman ultimately with the puck here inside his own zone. 2 Kraken players, 3 Kraken players converge. Zach Hyman still with the puck. Oilers push it ultimately into Kraken territory where the puck goes over the far side. Hits somebody in the neutral zone on the pass out of the zone for Seattle. They're still trying to get through the neutral. It'll be Troy Stetcher over to the far side. Puck up the far side wall, and this is going to be banged into the zone here all the way down to Grubauer, who will clear over, and this will be picked up and fired over top of the Oilers defense. It wanders all the way to the red line, and that is a dicey icing call there from the linesman, as that was a tough call to make, and ended up putting the hand up for icing on that one. Seattle just kind of guilty of putting too much oomph on that puck into the Oilers zone with exactly 10 minutes to go. So, Maureen, you're hoping that Matthias Janmark has a good year. He's a beast and a big leader. Well, I'm thinking Matthias Janmark could really have a good year, especially playing on the Oilers' third line, playing with same guys consistently, and really just playing with more offensive guys. Janmark's always had offensive jam, but playing with guys who consistently create looks in Brown and Henrique, he'll cash in. We call him the janitor for a reason, right? As this across the line now, McCann drifts a shot towards the net. It's high up off the end wall after, I don't know if McCann was just trying to get somebody to get to the puck, but here's now wrapped up off the boards. O'Reilly bounces it inside the Seattle zone, up now across the blue line. Here's the shot by Beniers up over top of the net off the stick of Bouchard with 9.5 to go here in this one. So you'll love to see it, but we will appear to take a TV timeout right now, friends. So what I will tell you is, if you're new to the channel, hanging out with us here on the live stream, love to have you hit that subscribe button here on Dolynny TV tonight. We're closing in on the last 150 subscribers to go to, well, I guess you could say 17,000. Currently sitting at 16,848. So by home opener night there, or by the first live stream of the season, we should be sitting over top of 17,000, and I'd love to have you aboard as part of that number here early on in the season. So absolutely, and we'll see what happens here. As Jesse, hopefully Jeff Skinner can dominate this season. Well, we'll see what happens here, obviously. And Ace also talking about Picard playing some more time. I don't know if he'll necessarily become the number 1, but I don't care if he's number 1, number 2, or number 3. He's going to have to play at least, and I say this, at least 25 games this season for the Edmonton Oilers. So we'll see what ended up ultimately transpiring, but looking forward to seeing what happens here. And Toast asking where is Dry as well tonight. Dry, I think, is going to be suiting up for the next game, and then McDavid and Draisaitl will both suit up for the next 2 games after that. I think that was Chris Knobloch's kind of how he sees it playing out, if you would. So closing in on 80 hours watched on the stream, friends, as we get shots of the crowd here. You would notice also that I just played through an ad for you. My apologies there. Just got to make sure all that's all working here as we get closer and closer to the start of the NHL season. Some guys with the old hair going there in the old Oilers jersey, and a lot of orange jerseys still in the crowd, both versions of them in fact, and we continue. So Simon, marks out of 1,000 so far for the Oilers tonight. I think the biggest thing is, compared to every other game, I would give it 1,000. Just we're not losing 6-1 so far, and the Oilers don't look absolutely awful. Jack, good to have you as we get closer and closer to this first period being up and done here this evening. 10-8 the shots, 1-1 the score between the Oilers and the Seattle Kraken. We're back rolling a face-off win for the Oilers. Pass in the middle of the ice, cut off by Seattle, then their pass through the middle's ultimately cut off. Here's Ryan to the middle looking for Lavoie. Couldn't quite get it onto his tape, and this will be worked to the far side boards as it battles there free for Seattle in the middle, as it will be a poke check to keep it alive, and Seattle fires in and then runs over the linesman as well at the Oilers blue line, as this will be tipped into possession. Carry him back the other way. Here come the Oilers across the line. A nifty play there by Mike Hoffman, and one-handed past the defenseman. Back to the blue line. Here's Kemp over to the far side. The shot through traffic blocked in front. And this one will now be picked up, and away it goes to the far side boards as Gleason will carry on inside the Oilers zone. 8.5 remaining here in this first period of play now, as the Oilers and Kraken remain tied at 1. The goal from Ryan Nugent-Hopkins on an absolute beauty of a snap one-timer. And it looks like the Oilers are guilty of an icing call here, so they'll reset inside their own zone one more time. As a lot of icing calls here early on in this hockey game, kind of slowing down the pace, as Matt Savoy, the St. Alberta product, 9th overall pick in 2022 from Buffalo. 8:30 to go here in this first period of play. Puck is freed up now for Savoy off the face-off wing. He'll chip to the near side boards, trying to get loading there. Savoy down the right wing. He is going to get tangled up, so too will Peterson. And this will go over to the far side. Battled free by Seattle. Kicked loose to a non-waiting Kraken stick by a guy without his stick. And here comes down the left wing to the far side, and 2 Oilers just collided, and Calvin Pickard is down with 8:02 to go. That did not look good. Oh boy. I think Calvin Pickard's okay. From what we're seeing, TJ4 is out to check on him, but that was a hard rush back into the zone, as that right there is a broken stick, and then they're showing the replay as Noah Philp comes back and takes out Calvin Pickard, bends his leg underneath him as well. Pad goes sideways, so oh boy. Calvin Pickard's talking things over with TD4s, as I think everything is okay with Pickard, will be fine. And of course, we can also preemptively take him out of the game if you have to, right? There's no big rush to keep Calvin Pickard in the game. If he doesn't quite feel 100%, he can move on and go sit on the bench and enjoy a good night. But Picard's looking like he might be smiling. Looks like we're going to go to a TV timeout again, friends. I'll encourage you again one more time, if you haven't already tonight, to hit that subscribe button here on the channel. And it looks like we're going to have the pizza blast here from Chelsea Bird and the Oilers Rogers Place crew. As Morgan, you want to see Philp, Kemp, Gleason, and Hoffman get a chance to play some games in the future. I doubt that Mike Hoffman is going to earn a contract from the Oilers. I believe he'll be signing elsewhere. But in terms of Gleason, he might get a look. Kemp might get a look. And Noah Philp, I guarantee you, by trade deadline time, will be a player full-time for the Edmonton Oilers. So we'll see how that all shakes out. But as we continue along, the old pizza falling from the rafters here, as we'll see everybody asking for Mr. Calvin Pickard to be okay, so that's a little tough, as obviously losing him would be a massive blow to this Edmonton Oilers team. But I think he's okay. I think he'll be fine. And all will be good for the Oilers. We'll check the watch time here as well, friends, if we just get a brief moment to have a pause in the action. I still don't know why Pizza 73 advertises their pizza with pineapple on it. I understand it, but I still don't fully for the audience that doesn't. 86 and a half hours on the stream. So, friends, we're closing in on 100 hours watched. Thank you so much for showing up for this first preseason game. That's pretty incredible numbers on a preseason game, if I'm being straight up honest with you, as we continue going here, as Philip absolutely ran over Picard while back checking, got up, but he will be leaving the game. Olivier Rodrigue will indeed be taking over in net for the Oilers. So there you have it. Olivier Rodrigue will be getting things going for the Oilers in net now. So the Oilers will roll out a new goaltender and see what happens here with 8:02 to go in this first period of play. This period just continues to take its sweet time to be up and done. It's been a long first period. I mean, we're already at 7:33 and we're not even really technically into the back half as Hyman goes down. Call coming up. The Oilers touch up. The penalty on the Oilers for hooking was 7:57. We immediately get another delay, and the new goaltender entering the game for the Oilers will immediately be greeted by the Seattle power play unit as we go off seeing Hyman go for hooking. Magic, good evening to you. As the Oilers find themselves down a man, Hyman for hooking in a 1-1 hockey game with just under 8 minutes to go in this first period of play against the Seattle Kraken this evening. So, all right, face off inside the Oilers zone, back to the blue line, shot out and down into the Kraken territory. So just like that, the Oilers win the face off and clear the zone with 10 seconds already gone in the penalty to Zach Hyman. The Kraken rush up the ice here as Jared McCann feeding to the middle for Beniers, cut off there. It'll go over to the far side. Kraken continuing the attack here, back to the blue line. Down the right wing, looking for an option in the middle, back to the blue line instead. After a full circle of the net, shot fired through, tipped wide by Beniers. And this will go on behind the net now as Ryan continues to battle there. This is where Ryan's got to earn his job, right? If Ryan can show that he can still keep killing penalties at an elite rate, it's going to change the complexion in that bottom six a little bit for Chris Knoblauch's decision making. Already a minute gone to begin this power play. Well, 55 seconds, so what do you do? But, man, it feels good to have the Oil on TV again. Yeah, even though it's only truly a live stream edition through Oilers Plus, it is good to see Connor McDavid and company back on the ice. I know I didn't catch McDavid against Winnipeg, and I didn't catch McDavid against Calgary because I was in Calgary, not at Rogers Place for that one. So here we go with 6:40 to go. The clock is finally ticking in this first period of play. 40 seconds to go in the old power play for the Seattle Kraken, who have generated really not much of anything so far. A tip play there off a skate, as that's a big hit there by Podkolzin as well to try and separate man from puck. Instead, O'Reilly out there penalty killing is able to fire it back to the near side boards as this one comes now to the blue line for Seattle, who's still kept to the outside. Pass down low, the Oilers shuffle one, and Seattle ultimately able to get it up over top of the diving defender and back of the net. And we should know that diving on the ice flat out is not going to stop many pucks. We see Nurse do it 10 times a game, it feels like sometimes, if the Oilers take a lot of penalties. And ultimately the man diving down on the ice there gets burnt on it, and it's back of the net. Matthias Ekholm guilty of trying to do too much on that play, and ultimately to the far side, it's Edward Sale putting the puck home for the Seattle Kraken. So tough look, now down 2-1 right there. So it is what it is. So here we go. Myers, McDavid in the face-off dot, 6:10 left to go in the first period of play. Oilers offense has got to get jump-started again here. Really, they've only had the one power play and the one good rush by, who do you have it? The one good rush there by McDavid and Nugent Hopkins to score the goal. But it looks like there's going to be a penalty upcoming here against Zach Hyman for something else, as Hyman's having a hard game so far, as he's going to go off for interference. And then, okay, so another player goes off as well. So Yeah, interesting to see as those two guys continue to battle. As Hyman punched the guy in the face, actually. So Morgan gets roughing or something there, and obviously Hyman gets interference. So it is what it is on that penalty call there for the Oilers. It'll be 4-on-4 inside the offensive zone as Beniers will take the draw against McDavid and Nugent-Hopkins. McDavid settles up. Beniers settles up as well, sticks down, and here we go. There, the other side too is they promised that they're going to drop pucks a little bit faster this year. As this one's going to be McCann over into the near side boards. McDavid able to tap that one away. Easy, convenient 4-on-4 lines for the Oilers here with Hyman in the box. As here's Bouchard dancing around a guy and over to the far side. Here's McDavid right down the middle of the shot. Trying to go 5-hole on Grubauer. Didn't work out as Bouchard feeds it back down low. It ultimately ends up back in the neutral zone off a bounce. And the Oilers will reload the attack here. Nugent-Hopkins across the blue line. Over to the far side, Bouchard touches on McDavid, who tries to touch back to Bouchard. The puck ultimately hopped away, and here's Bouchard back at the blue line off the pass from Nugent-Hopkins over to the far side, and then back again as Bouchard tries to feed it over to McDavid, a rather lazy play, and it'll go on down inside the Oilers zone. Seattle with the puck. 5:04 to go here in this first period of play as Stetcher will touch back over to McDavid, who continues to roll along here on the 4-on-4. 5 minutes remaining in this period as this one is going to be over across the line. Touched there by the Oilers, throwing the man to the ice, and Lavoie turns over the puck trying to kick it free to Podkolzin, and instead ultimately it bounced around enough times that it came free for Lavoie again. He's across the line. The shot fired, save made by Grubauer as Lavoie again dances. Ultimately coming up with the puck is Podkolzin. Stetcher, the shot not loading as this will instead be down low near side for Ekholm. Ekholm looking for an option to the blue line. The shot by Stetcher steered wide by Grubauer, and this will be battle along the wall. Both teams engaged, two guys deep, and this will be chucked aside by Grubauer after the puck bounced to him, and that'll do it for the 4-on-4 with 6 seconds to go. As Jared, welcome aboard. Glad to have you back in for another season as this one comes up through the middle of the ice. Cutting through, it'll be turned over back to the Oilers' possession. Seattle was trying to get across through the neutral zone, but that one was ultimately just kind of guided right onto the Oilers' stick. Perry sees it hop over top of him. And this will be down inside the Seattle zone. Along behind the net now, Ryan will look to make this play. He will get battled there by a couple of Seattle Kraken players, and ultimately nobody is able to hang on to this puck for more than a quarter second here in the past few sequences, as that one poked away from Ryan, but deeper into the Seattle zone. Ryan helps turn that puck over for Perry. Puck coming up through the middle as Sam O'Reilly was charging for the one-timer. Couldn't do it. 3:14 to go in this first period of play as the Kraken are just absolutely buzzing here now inside the Oilers zone. The shot save made by Rodrigue, and this will be down to the near side corner. The Oilers come up with it, battling along against Edward Sale. It's turned back behind the net by Rodrigue for Ekholm over to Perry, and Perry will guide back for the defense to reset. The Kraken have two guys deep. Ekholm activates. He's across the line. He chips towards the middle. Philp scores! What a pass from Ekholm. What a goal from Noah Philp. I mean, that is what you want to see in preseason. Noah Philp just made no mistake about that to tie the game at 2 apiece on Rogers Place ice. As what a beauty of a goal there as that one's across by Ekholm right in front. Philp just basically steps around Grubauer, tucks it back in the net. What a pass through traffic of 3 guys, and then Philp, no mistake about it. Ekholm with a beauty of an assist right there. So if anyone's asking who I want as the Oilers' fourth line center to start the year, it is of course Noah Philp. I have loved the guy since he came aboard with Bakersfield 2 years ago. And obviously as well, taking the year off. Respect that a guy knows when his limits are being tested and when he has to do something else. And came back, and so far he is rocking and rolling here. So this is Seattle bouncing it across to the far side. Gleason with the puck. Ekholm, Bouchard get the assist as Bouchard, like I said, he'll be maybe a 100-point scorer for the Oilers this year. The Oilers quite easily could have 4 100-point scores. I don't know if Hyman ever will be a guy who gets 100 points because Bouchard and Ekholm kind of eat up those secondary assists when the big boys, the other three, are scoring. But you get where I'm going. As this one's across the line now for the Oilers, again responding with a offensive attack right after the goal as Nugent Hopkins chips over to McDavid. He saw it go past him, but this is going to be played freely along for Nugent Hopkins with $1:49 to go. Beniers out there and Perry's on the ice now, as I think Hyman's getting a little talking to here about the undisciplined penalties here in this first period of play. Thankfully, the Oilers get things going. Tomal, was there an injury? Well, Kelvin Pickard took a hard bump from Noah Philp, charging back on the back check. He might be banged up a little bit, but he should be completely fine. And now you got to think that Olivier Rodrigue becomes ever more important. Perry with the dangles, cutting through the middle. Oh boy, Sam O'Reilly just about found that puck, as this one will come down the right wing now through the middle of the ice. Seattle on the pass to the near side, darting around the net, looking back to the blue line. Seattle's held up there, and it will be a backhand down low, and here come the Oilers attack for Bouchard near side. He will flip into the neutral, or into the Kraken zone, sorry, out of the neutral zone. That one knocked down by Seattle, as my eyes are getting tired here. It is preseason for everybody after all, as this one comes now for Derek Ryan to chip in. We got 40 seconds to go finally in this first period of play, so thank goodness for that, as we will go 2-2. Here are the scores. Laval fires a shot. It fumbled off his stick, though. He's been fighting it so far this game. Down low now for Hoffman. He sees it go past him, and this will be a battle along the wall, picked up by Seattle and the Oilers' blue line, trying to dance around Bouchard. Nasty whack there from Bouchard. Doesn't draw a penalty. 15 seconds to go, as there is now a penalty on the play, and the Oilers kind of getting a little undisciplined here against a Seattle team that they really don't have to so much so just run over. But it's nice to see the Oilers trying to really play on the edge and really physically and intimidate almost a Seattle Kraken team that they're going to match up against 4 times this year. Ekholm takes an interference call, so interesting there as well. But Ekholm goes in and just throws a man to the ice, and the refs kind of calling some so-so penalties tonight too. But again, it's preseason for everybody, so I get it. But tough go there for the Oilers, obviously. Ekholm definitely playing a hard-nosed game, still styled for the playoffs. That's not a penalty in the playoffs, we know that. But end of the day is you get the draw, and here comes Noah Philp to take the draw and finish off the clock with 6.8 seconds to go against Matty Beniers. As the draw is down, Philp wins it back. This will be along the end wall, and that will kill the clock for the Oilers as they drive into the boards with no time on the clock. Friends, I will be right back. I'm going to throw you an ad. I'm going to leave you on the subscribe ad, and we'll be right back for a little special segment here on Dolynny TV to show you off something I got. All right, friends, we got a little something special here. Obviously, for those of you that follow the channel pretty well, you know Patrick, Brendan, and I went down to the old Rogers place there for Fan Day what was that, last weekend, actually last Sunday. And obviously Fan Day is kind of one of those situations where they have a locker room sale, they have a whole bunch of stuff available for sale that you otherwise couldn't get, and it's at discounts that you otherwise couldn't get as well. So what we have here, friends, is of course Derek Ryan's signed gloves. It was pretty much my mission to go on down to Rogers Place on Sunday last week and grab a pair of Derek Ryan's gloves. My goal was not to have them signed, but for those of you that can kind of see very well on the old camera screens there, I'm going to see if this shows up. You should see there that there is a signature on there. Yeah, you can see that right there. So a pair of Derek Ryan signed gloves comes with the old authenticator tab inside. Of course, one might say I'm crazy for what my plan of attack with this is, but my plan of attack for these gloves is to use them on the outdoor rink going forward. Just kind of, make them the outdoor rink gloves instead of having the regular old pair. You can throw on an Oilers jersey and actually matchy now, right? That's the idea. So the intention was not to have them signed, but it is in the end of the day what it is. That's really all it came down to, is they ended up coming signed anyway, so whatever. As Rick, welcome aboard. Morgan, do we think the Oilers will make it to the finals again? Yeah, they will. They will definitely be making it back to the finals if they are as serious about it as they say they are. That's what I'm saying. So, Aaron as well, adding on to that right there, the old 16-game win streak in the playoffs wouldn't be too bad. Tammy, welcome aboard. Darcy, welcome aboard. And yeah, we are rolling. Doug missed you there as well as we continue to get through this intermission edition here on the channel, as we will see home of the Oilers in your next event. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of things you can do at Rogers Place in terms of events in the building. As where we at? I just want to try and find the scoring summary here for this first period of play. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, you had Jacob Melanson as well score a goal for the Seattle Kraken. You had Edward Sales score a goal, and Noah Philp score a goal for the Oilers. So Noah Philp continues to impress in this preseason. Don't mind me at all. So Kira, why is everyone already so much better this preseason than the entire year last season? I will tell you, simply because I don't think we're near as banged up coming out of the Florida series as potentially we were against Vegas. Vegas took a heavy physical toll on the guys, and when your top guys just aren't quite there, the Oilers' depth was not quite as good as it was later in the season, or as good as it was starting this year. And obviously as well, when Connor McDavid's as far off his game as he was, it's tough to win every night, defense aside. And let's see where see what happens. And Ace, you're talking about how the Oilers play the first 10 games and see what their D does now as opposed to maybe last year's D, and see what that'll holds and then predict from there. That's fair. I think it is the one knock against the Oilers is what's the defense going to turn out to be like. Again, I really don't see how the defense is really any worse. Losing Cody Ceci, adding Ty Emberson, and losing Vinny Desharnais and adding Stetcher Brown. Everybody hated Desharnais for his defense and just his overall play. Or you absolutely love Vinny because he's a beauty. One of the two. And Cody Ceci was the universally hated member of the Oilers defense, I think, based on online public opinion and public opinion in person. So I think if Emerson and the other two can live up to be just 5% better than that, it is all going to be dandy for the Oilers here. And Tammy, you're waiting to see, or you can't wait to see the new Oilers. Well, I'll tell you, the Oilers aren't going to look too much different overall, right? The core guys are still here. It's just what comes down to the new guys and what they add in terms of being productive members of the hockey club this year. And WT? Yeah, WT. Do they sell Oilers gear like those gloves any other day? Yeah, they sell them at Ice District Authentics downtown Edmonton, right across from the arena there. Not the hardest thing to get some merch from that store, but again, the prices are a lot more expensive there than at a locker room sale. So yeah, that's the tough part. Is definitely those locker room sales are a must go because of the deals you can score. Like those Derek Ryan gloves were $100 signed, used in game. That's insane to me, right? And we're in 2024, and you're getting player gloves for $100. Those things brand new are worth what, 250. So pretty incredible there as well. Yeah, hopefully for the Oilers here, everything sorts out. Obviously, we're in a 2-2 hockey game as this game continues along on the intermission. Friends, thank you so much for being aboard here this evening. Again, if I forgot to ask you, because I just threw up the subscribe ad, if you haven't done that already, make sure to do that. Hit that subscribe button here on Dolynny TV. Stay tuned. It's going to be a fun hockey season. I think it's going to be a little better start than last year. I think we can all agree on that. Even if things aren't necessarily what we hope they are early on, it should still at some rate be better than it was last year. As we continue on here as well, we go here, and it looks like there's a whole bunch of my Seattle Kraken live streams over the years piling up some views here in the background. So not a bad time to see the old Seattle Kraken fans coming through and the Oilers fans looking for the live stream tonight. And yeah, you know what? It's been a turn of an events day, I guess, on the channel in terms of I didn't think I was going to have anything up. And here we have almost already 2-hour live stream up and underway here on the channel this evening. So that's fun. But yeah, we're continuing along here tonight. McToad's talking about that Noah Philp goal. Yeah, that Noah Philp goal was absolutely phenomenal. I think that's what you want to see out of Noah the rest of the preseason. Just keep getting the lineup time, keep scoring the goals, and keep making productive contributions to the team, right? Zach Hyman's kind of struggling here tonight, so somebody else has to step up. And if Noah Philp wants to be that guy, none of us are really inclined to complain, I don't think. So that's good to see out of Noah and good to see out of the Edmonton Oilers so far. So we're going to quickly go check for an update on the guy Calvin Pickard there. So Philp cashes in a pass, so it's 2-2. There will be an intermission. Yep, that is true. As Noah Philp scoring the absolute goal is huge, as Noah Philp is making a good case for himself to be on the opening night roster for the Oilers. That from Laws of Oilers Nation. Anything else here is the Oilers' future fourth line center. I think Noah Philp's the future third line center for the Oilers, quite honestly. Kind of the guy after one Adam Henrique. And Pickard is off at 11:58 and is replaced by Rodrigue. Okay, bang. And sorry, Phil Kemp went into Pickard. So they're saying that Pickard's head hit the post as he went down, so that's why they're being cautious here. So I'm not sure who's got the true breakdown, but it is what it is. And hopefully it all works out for Mr. Calvin Pickard and we get him back healthy here in a matter of few days, right? I think give him a day off or so. I think Rodrigue's gotta play some more games here in the preseason anyway. You want to know exactly what you've got in Olivier Rodrigue going into this year and get him in game shape and allow the other guys to get game time in the training camp down in Bakersfield. So it is where it's at, as this is a big time couple of highlights here for the Oilers, showcasing that Noah Philp goal, which was so beautiful. Philp just straight up driving straight to the net. You'll love to see a guy go hard line from the blue line straight to the goaltender Grubauer. Noah Philp's first goal of the preseason, with Ekholm and Bouchard getting their first assists. Told you we'd see a better effort tonight from the big guys, and so far we have, which is absolutely huge. You want to make sure those guys are contributing night in, night out in the preseason and then getting geared up for the regular season, and that appears to be the case so far tonight. So love to see it as we see 14-10 the shots on goal for the Edmonton Oilers in that period, 8-8 the hits, 4-1 the blocks, 14 face-off wins, and 6 for the penalty minutes for the Edmonton Oilers. So I will be right back, friends. Give me a matter of moments. I'm just going to run upstairs, grab a quick little bite, and we'll be back for second period action here on the channel this evening. All right, let's do this, friends. Let's cap off a second period of hockey and then probably call her a night, to be honest with you. I'm definitely stacking up. There's some other stuff to take care of tonight, but yeah, see what the Oilers can ultimately do here in this second period is tonight's matchup, the Edmonton Oilers, the Seattle Kraken. It's a 2-2 hockey game here between the clubs, and so far so good, as we know a guy who scores filthy goals is the old adage from the Edmonton Oilers on Twitter. So yeah, interesting to see. So yeah, Noah Philp is NHL ready, is what Jason Demers is saying. Stays underneath, supports the middle low and slow, then comes back, filling the winger spot and being an option for the D-man. Then once recognizes the rush is on, drives the net and never stops moving his feet. Noah Philp's a beauty. That's all we need to know. Noah Philp, an absolute beauty, and I'm looking forward to seeing him in an Oilers uniform for a lot of games this NHL season. He's going to be a huge trade deadline acquisition, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's been obviously an interesting game so far for the Oilers. Not quite the best disciplined game. A couple of turnovers at inopportune times inside the offensive zone. And for the Oilers, ultimately, if they can clean that up, they're going to start running away with this game, because I don't know truly how much the young Seattle forwards in the kind of middle part of the lineup can really handle the Edmonton Oilers attack once it winds up and gets going here this evening. Friends, we've just crossed over 53 likes on the stream. I should say 50, but I'm going to say the true number. So if you're just tuning in, haven't left a like yet, make sure to do that here on the channel this evening. We've also crossed up over 3,000 views on the stream here tonight. I had no clue how that was going to pan out, so thank you so much for being a part of stuff here this evening as we continue to wait the second period getting up and underway here on the broadcast tonight. I'm feeling bad for those folks that are tuning into the previous Seattle live streams here on the channel. Quite several of those getting some viewage for sure, but we're up rolling, and hopefully going to see everybody find ourselves here tonight at some point on the live stream. So glad to see everybody back in the chat here tonight. It's been fantastic seeing names rolling through, and I'm looking forward to seeing the Oilers led out by Ollie Rodrigue for this, what is now second period of play upcoming between the Oilers and the Seattle Kraken. As we go quickly to check the watch time one more time, 3:29 times 2.75 here, and we are looking at, how about that, we are up over 138 hours on the stream here tonight. So thank you again for spending your time with me this evening. Hobby, what happened to Pickard? He got run over by an Oilers player back checking, hit his head off the post, lifted for precautionary reasons. Hopefully all okay. That's kind of what we're hoping for anyway, as he should be okay to continue on. So hopefully the Oilers get it going. As boom boom. Yeah, the Oilers should be set up for a good second period of hockey here. One would at least assume, scoring 2 goals in that first period. That first period that legitimately seemed like it was never going to end. That was a long first period of hockey, that's for sure. And hopefully for the Oilers tonight, it doesn't take that long to get through this second period, because if it does, the guy's not going to even barely be able to stay awake. It's already 8:02. It's dark out. That was the depressing part about going out to get those gloves. It was still light. Go back upstairs 5 minutes later to refresh the water bottle, and here it is, dark out. As the team save percentage for the Oilers tonight, how about that? 800%. We're used to that. 857 for the Seattle Kraken. The Oilers have 14 shots on net on 2 goals, and make some noise, friends. We are about to gear up for this one here. So hopefully for the Oilers, a solid second period upcoming, because I don't want to watch the second periods I've watched so far this preseason where the Oilers have really struggled. As we are geared up, it is time to get going. The second period for the Oilers, time winds down on the clock. It'll reset to 20. Matthias Ekholm has 2 minutes left essentially in his penalty there in the corner at the end of the first period for interference. And there we have it, the face-off down. Seattle possesses, and they're going to go back to their near side dot, now to the far side boards, fire in. Seattle player goes down. Rodriguez plays the puck, so no penalty upcoming on that turnstile there by the Oilers on the Seattle player. Here's the shot loading up over top of the shoulder of Olivier Rodriguez. Now back to the blue line. It misses everybody, and it will go back into Seattle territory with already half a minute gone in the power play for the Seattle Kraken. Now loading up. Here's Seattle through their own zone. Backtracks it. Here's a steal by Podkolzin, and that's a smart little play by Podkolzin to action on that puck. Beniers drives the middle. It's shot up over top of the net. Gord to the far side. It'll be chipped along the boards now by the Oilers, up down into Philip Grubauer, who will likely play at least half this game, if not the first and second period, with 19 minutes remaining here in this first little bit of action of the second period, as it'll be fired up over the Oilers defense into the corner. A nice play there by the Seattle Kraken offense to get to the attack here. The one-timer guided towards the net, rolled off the stick, and that's going to allow Noah Philp, who's feeling hot and dangerous tonight, to roll into the Seattle zone. Still with the puck, fires it towards the net. Grubauer steers it just wide of the net on a dangerous-looking rush towards the net there, as this one's going to go now for Seattle. Back in, fire the shot into the zone. It goes over to the far side board. Seattle continuing down in the Oilers' end to get this shot towards the net. It hops off the end wall. Rodriguez steers it just wide with his pad, and this one will be now near side for Sale. Sale will roll off the boards. Looks for an option. 4 seconds to go in the power play. It hits off the linesman, goes out into the Seattle Kraken zone, and that will do it right there for the power play for Seattle, as it'll be fired back to the Oilers' blue line. Seattle are crossed into the offensive zone just like that, dancing around a defender. And a good play by the Oilers. The defense standing a little taller here in this second period of play, at least starting out, as here's Hyman rushing into the offensive zone. He'll get it back to the blue line. This one goes all the way into the Oilers' territory for Rodriguez, bouncing it off the end wall. And it will go back into the neutral zone here, picked up by Seattle. 17.5 to go in this second period of play, as Seattle will load up through the middle. They'll fire to the far side boards, and that will be whistled down on an icing call. So just like that, friends, with 2.5 minutes to go, we have got the period rolling along at least, and things are moving for the Edmonton Oilers to begin this second period. 14-11 now the shots for the Oilers over top of the Kraken. Sam O'Reilly draws in for the face-off here. He will lose that one back. Perry had come in, and the line's official is down on the play. The puck ends up in the bench, and Bouchard, with that beard already in mid-season form, looks on here. So we'll see what happens. And Christy, thanks for tuning in. Sorry that the game's not on, but yeah, copyright is a big issue here on YouTube, and that's something I got to be mindful of for sure. So here's O'Reilly drawn in against Beniers in the face-off dot. Tied up, one back there by the Oilers. The shot fired through traffic, blocked in from Bouchard. Jams the puck up off a player and into the bench. And that should keep the face-off somewhere on the right side, a half at least, here for the Oilers, as Vasily Podkolzin, acquired by the Oilers on August 18th, or otherwise known as Country Thunder Sunday, with Luke Combs headlining in Calgary, Alberta. That was a busy day of Oilers action, and an unfortunate situation, missing all that stuff going on. So here's now Seattle loading up to the far side, and they will go through the middle now, tip off a stick and down to Rodriguez. With 3 minutes officially gone in the second period of play, Perry's going to see it tipped up into the neutral zone. Seattle grabs it back, and they'll fire across the Oilers line back in to the near side boards. Perry tries to play that one along. Here comes Podkolzin and O'Reilly. O'Reilly over to Podkolzin. Podkolzin quickly grabs that puck, and the shot fired through traffic, snared by Philip Grubauer. And now Perry's wanting to mix things up. That's going to pique the interest of Sam O'Reilly. But Corey Perry just says, hey, bud, come on, let's go. It's just preseason. Don't take it so serious. As this Podkolzin with a nice protection of the puck, and that ended up loading up the shot. And Dermott got it through again. Like we said, if we don't notice Dermott or Stetcher, that's a pretty good thing here for the Oilers, as we'll get things going in a 2-2 score here in this second period of play. Ryan is going to be waved out. Lavoie will come in against Yanni Gourde. And it'll be Lavoie trying to battle this one. And we'll see what happens here on this. Sorry, apologies if I just lost you again. Struggling for some reason here on the stream tonight. The old rural internet is what it is at the end of the day, as this will be a face-off now for Derek Ryan one more time with 16:24 to go here in this second period of play. Face-off now down. Ryan wins it back. Kicked, helped there by the Oilers defense. As the shot from the outside, looking for a tip in front, couldn't quite get it through. As here's Ryan again, looking for Lavoie right in front. Lavoie jams a shot on net. Grubauer equal to the task on that one. Another follow-up chance there, unable to cash that one, as that was a good couple of sequences there for the Oilers, getting some pucks towards the net, and this will be in the near side corner in the Oilers territory. Edmonton chasing around inside their own zone. The shot fired towards the net. Dermott sees it go wide, and now the Seattle Kraken will load up the attack one more time. Blocked in front again. Stetcher and Dermott doing some work. Hoffman obviously out there as well with Derek Ryan and company, as the shot fired through traffic. Blocked in front. Rodriguez going to see the Oilers come back the other way over across the line. Now Lavoie. The shot fired towards the net. Grubauer fights it off. Here's Derek Ryan battling behind the net. Borgen in behind, looking for a puck to start out from behind his own net. He will now, as the Oilers offense just kind of peeled off for a line change there, with Seattle retreating in behind the net, and now all the way back down to Rodriguez. He opted not to play the puck, and the Oilers will start out D to D, and out of the zone, here comes Gleason across the line. This will be backhanded there by Philp. Philp sees it go right back in front on a nice jam play there from behind the net. Couldn't get through. We're inside the last 15 minutes to go of the second period of play, as this will be picked off there again by the Oilers. And this stream lagging just a little bit is messing with the guy's eyes to some extent, as this comes across the line. The shot fired, save made by Grubauer with 14:10 to go. And here's Peterson mixing it up with one of the Seattle Kraken players, maybe an old nemesis from the Coachella Valley Firebirds. And just like that, the Oilers continue to battle this game along here tonight, as the referee took a hard hit. Puck right above the twig and berries on that one, looks like it. Oh boy. Maybe off the top of the cup, in fact. That is tough. And there's a first Oilers game for somebody from Japan here tonight. As embarrassed to be on camera, that's for sure. Lots of Oilers fans, you always love the old let me get a photo of that. As here's Ekholm now with the puck. He'll fire down low behind the net. It'll go around to the far side boards. The shot doesn't quite work out the way the Oilers were hoping. And here's Seattle back in behind Ekholm. Spin to the front of the net, and Seattle scores, as Olivier Rodrigue lost it in the traffic of his feet in the Seattle Kraken player. And I think it ends up in the back of the net for Hayden, who will find the 3-2 goal for Seattle. 17 shots for the Oilers, and they're still being stymied by Philip Grubauer here so far tonight, with 14:28 to go in this second period of play. And I'm going to try and get the old blood pumping here. I still got the weight down here a little bit. Let's go. Let's go. As that's a tough goal for the Oilers against, for sure, as it just ends up steering back to the back, as Hayden just stayed with it. And now let's go. As we got to get back in this game, we got to score a goal here and find a way to get her going, as McDavid is going to lose that one off the face-off draw, but eventually the Seattle Kraken kicked away from the Oilers for full possession, and this will come back inside the zone now. 14:19 to go in this second period of play, as the Oilers continue to battle the puck inside their own zone. It's hopping away from them at every left turn they can take. And Borgen will play this one into the corner. Now here's Ekholm battling it off a skate. Hyman to the far side. Borgen sees it battled down low. Bouchard behind the net, as this will be picked up by the Oilers once again. Here's Ekholm in behind the net looking for an option. Oilers finally picked up the puck. That's nice to see, as that one was bouncing around in the zone for a while. Here's McDavid loading up. McDavid dancing, darting, looking for an open lane. He's going to be turned back by Seattle's defense. Here's Dermott. Dermott to the front of the net, battling away at it is Hyman, trying to score a goal similar to Hayden, just couldn't quite do it. And we'll have a stoppage in play just like that, with Grubauer eating up that puck. You knew it was bound to happen. It just finally happened at that point. And the old sneeze on camera. As that's Hyman again doing Hyman things, trying to get that puck through. As he got it on his stick and then jammed it through again a couple of times. Evans was battling him. So was Fleury. But it is Grubauer making the save at the end of the day. The preseason sale up to 50% off select items down at Ice District Authentics. And yeah, I can understand they have a couple of things half off. That's for sure. But we'll see everybody get geared up for the old season here. And we'll see what happens here. And in terms of goaltending still being weak for the Oilers, I wouldn't worry about a goal against Olivier Rodrigue like that. He'll probably see 2 or 3 games at most this year for the Oilers, if even any. So we'll be fine. We'll be fine. Again, Calvin Pickard gets injured. I'm sure he would have settled into this game just fine. But tough go for Stuart Skinner that last game he played for sure. Again, the lineup, that was another question. But I'm not going to put too much stock into the preseason. That's what I'm telling you. It's just nice to be live streaming hockey on a Saturday night and having a good time doing it. Trying not to fall asleep, quite honestly. Trying to stay awake at this point. It's been a long day already, and guy couldn't sleep enough today to try and get through the day. I'll tell you that much, as this was going to be the make some noise here for the Oilers. Everybody up and cheering and getting it going, as this one will be a good chance to get the crowd involved yet again. Everybody's cheering along, enjoying themselves, and we should be ready to rock and roll for this back half of the second period. Well, we got 13:26. We have got still Oilers fans partying along in the stands. Everybody's smiling, having a good time. Buddy's got the old jersey behind me on this one side. Here we go, friends. Sam O'Reilly's going to take the draw for the Oilers. Dermott and Stetcher at the blue line is the fourth line, third line, second line, fourth line, first line, whatever you want to call it tonight. Featuring Sam O'Reilly back on the ice. O'Reilly lost that draw. It was Seattle forcing it over into the zone. Here comes Stetcher making the play through the middle of the ice. He's still carrying that puck. He's going to rip it in over the blue line into the near side corner. Oilers jam onto that puck almost immediately. Really left no questions about getting to that puck. And here's Perry again near side, trying to protect a shot fired out by Seattle. They'll jam it into the Oilers zone. Here's Stetcher as this one comes back to the near side, and O'Reilly will be bumped hard into the boards by Gord, but just kind of skated himself along the wall as this will go into the far side. A blowing tire there, and O'Reilly thought he had himself across the blue line handily, but Podkolzin decided to go off for a line change, so that held everybody up, and this will come back inside the Oilers zone for an icing call with 12:44 to go here in this second period of play. Friends, we are rolling along here slowly but surely here tonight. And Tammy, in terms of wondering if I snore or not, I'll tell you, I don't want to, just for the sheer pain of ever being able to watch myself sleep on camera. So we just won't do that. But I'm sure somebody's got me sleeping before. So here we go, 2-2 or 3-2. Sorry, the score for Seattle following that oddball goal against Rodrigue. Really just a goal that got funneled towards the net and ended up in the back without anyone really realizing it at first. This is going to be picked up by the Oilers offense inside their own zone. Quickly darted through the neutral. Ben Gleason down the left wing, cut off there by Seattle, and then Derek Ryan filling in for Gleason at the blue line was able to cut it off and turn it back north, where the Oilers fired it into the Seattle zone. Maybe a turnover here for Lavoie. He chose not to go into that puck hard, and ultimately Seattle's able to get across the Oilers line. The shot fired towards the net goes up and over top of the net. And here now is a puck along the end wall. Puck now near side for Ryan, who's battling off. He'll get it going to the far side, and the Oilers will bat it back into the middle of the ice as this one's fired and funneled by the Seattle Kraken. Ultimately a save for Rodrigue. Just the Oilers puck management needs to get a little bit better here. And Tammy, you'll be at the game Monday. Well, I'm telling you, somebody in particular wishes he could be at the game all the time, but that's not the case, unfortunately, for myself. As definitely those season tickets would be a lovely thing to have one day down the future for sure. So We'll see what happens here. 11:49 to go in this second period to play. The puck back to the blue line. The Kraken fire their shot. Save made by Rodrigue. With 11:45 to go in this second period, Rodrigue starting to settle in. A couple of consecutive saves here on this one. Buddy in the Carhartt shirt there, enjoying it. He's got the Bauer hockey hat as well, and everybody enjoying themselves in the stands. Everybody's really jacked up for this one here tonight. That is for sure. The face-off down. Philp wins the draw for the Oilers. Love to see that. He's scored a goal. He's winning draws. Things are good. Life is grand for the Edmonton Oilers here tonight, despite being down a goal so far. They've scored 2 goals before the end of the game. That's an impressive mark in and of itself as well, as this is a turn for the Seattle Kraken in their own zone. They're across the Oilers line, offside heavily, one might think, but we don't need to worry about reviews this early in the preseason, do we? As Borgen will go over to the far side. The shot fired towards the net, blocked in front on its way through, as this will be a nice play by Peterson to get it over and free, and this one through into the middle for Philp, who will skate with it. He's taken down, he's offside, and the whistle blowing, as I think everybody was a little confused on that one. It's tough right there, but 3-2 the score. 11:02 to go in this second period of play, friends, as we go pan into the crowd here for an exciting little adventure. I'll tell you, if you're new to the channel, I want you to hit that subscribe button here on Dolynny TV. We just this evening crossed into the last 150 to go to 17,000 subscribers. Kind of stalled out this summer, but that was to be expected, as you know, it is what it is, right? Summertime's not exactly hockey time, as here's the Oilers coming back the other way. Hyman's hauled down. There will be a stoppage in play and a penalty coming up, one might assume, as the player for the Seattle Kraken will go to the bench, and Dermott will change out sticks as well. 3-2 the score here for Seattle. The Oilers will get a power play as a holding call against the Seattle Kraken on that one, as here's Hyman going in, and then all of a sudden kind of gets in there, kind of grabbed the armpit of Zach Hyman, and the Edmonton Oilers will get Natco Energy power play here to begin this middle part of the second period. 10:46 on the clock. And we'll see how this goes. Hello, Kat. Hello, how are you doing? You're looking tired, buddy. You should go have a nap. Go have a nap, bud. As McDavid draws in for the face-off, of course, the extra hand on the power play right now is Mike Hoffman taking the spot of Leon Draisaitl. The face-off deflects off behind the boards, as McDavid still can't get free from the Seattle Kraken player who's holding on to Mr. Connor McDavid. As here's McDavid driving to the net. Nugent Hopkins far side. The blocked shot in front by Brandon Tanev, who looks like he might be a little injured on that play. He is wincing in pain on that one. Here's Nugent Hopkins missing a pass. McDavid gets it right back, though. Nuge knocks down an awkward pass from McDavid. Nuge skates it back over now to Hoffman. Hoffman off the wing. Here's Bouchard, the blocked, or the shot through traffic. I thought it was blocked, but it ended up getting on through. And here's Bouchard now over to McDavid. McDavid sees it steered off a stick. Tanev still kind of tentative out there on this one, as this one will come on down for Rodrigue to play it off to Bouchard. The Oilers power play reloads, as this camera, man, lagging out hard, as this will be now McDavid across the line. He's wiped out by Seattle, and then he wipes out 2 Seattle players, and McDavid's like, what the heck was that? That was terrible. And 9:43 to go here in this second period. McDavid will go off for a line change, and the Oilers will ultimately get things going, as McDavid a little frustrated with that one. And yeah, they would have loved to have that opportunity back there from Hoffman, as it was a big block shot by Tanev in front, and this one a tangle up there by Seattle, as McDavid just couldn't get free from the Seattle player. Both players kind of trying to swim over top of each other, and Seattle kind of hanging on a little bit there as well. So here's the second unit out here now. Here's Ekholm at the blue line. He'll look to the far side a couple of times, head up the whole way, fakes the slap shot, then delivers off to the other face-off circle, as this will be fired over top of the net by the Oilers, right in tight by Vasily Podkolzin, and that puck goes out of play. So we'll have a whistle with 9:24 to go in this second period of play, as we continue to roll along here on tonight's live stream. Gleason fed it right there, and then Podkolzin threw her sky high over top of the net, just missing the bar by about 6 inches. As this will be a face-off along the wall. Savoy is able to push it forward for the Oilers. He lost his stick as Lavoie again. Lavaue's got to be not afraid to go in like a little bit of a bull in a china shop, use that big frame, and run a guy over once in a while. So, all right, this one will be across as Podkolzin gets across the line now. This will be picked up along the near side wall. This will be Savoy back to the blue line for Gleason. Ekholm over near side. Lavoie fires the shot. Good shot on. Almost fooled Grubauer, but he's equal to the task. At least on that one is here's Ekholm down the wing. The Oilers now have 20 shots. 8:40 to go in this second period of play. Lavoie battles there, and that is going to free up the puck as Lavoie threw a body. As this one goes now back to the Ekholm far side. The shot fanned on there by the Oilers. They're getting looks here in this second period. As this will go back into the middle as Dermott picks up this puck over to the near side. Poked ahead. Turned over. Seattle down the right wing. Looking to make the play here. Shot fired down low again. And that's Dermott going over to the far side. 8 minutes rolling in this second period of play as this will be picked up by Seattle again. And we will have a penalty upcoming against the Oilers. So there it is. Looks like who's going to the box? Not 100% sure here. We got a penalty against the Oilers for a hooking call again inside the defensive zone, sorry. And it looks like that was Ben Gleason taking the call against Winterton there. And looks like we're going to have an addition of Have You Seen Hunter in Rogers Place. A guy coming up to do that here tonight, wearing the old Connor McDavid Heritage Classic jersey. The C on the old high chest there. And we'll see how this all pans out. Anyway, take a moment again as we see the family getting a hold of me. As we go to the watch time, friends, sorry, just pausing for a quick second to catch my breath as well. 178 hours watched on the stream. You like to see it right there. And we're looking for Hunter right now, looking in the crowd as we got 17 seconds to find Hunter. What else do we got? Checking to tell you how many of you have hit that subscribe button here tonight. As we are at 16,860, so inside the last 140 to go. So thank you, friends, for those of you that have hit the subscribe button tonight. But again, if you're new to the live stream, just tuning in, definitely make sure to do that before you head on out. We've just crossed 2 hours live now. Of course, that's it's always fun when you've been live that long. Let me tell you, you start losing your brain cells a little bit, it feels like. But hey, we'll get the water back in us. We'll get some food afterwards, and we'll be fine. So, yeah. See what happens. This Gavus. Really hoping Raphael Lavoie makes the team. So am I. I've heard radio talk that Raphael Lavoie is the likely 13th forward, at least to break camp. We'll see if that ultimately pans out for the Oilers, but I'd love to see Raphael Lavoie be the guy that gets an opportunity to replace Corey Perry on the right wing or replace Derek Ryan on the right wing, ultimately, however the Oilers choose to go about it. But Derek Ryan, I don't know if he's necessarily done enough in training camp to hold his spot over a guy like Noah Philp or over a guy like Raphael Lavoie. So we could see some very interesting things pan out with the bottom of the Oilers lineup. There is an offside against the old Seattle Kraken there, so we will reload the power play with $1:38 to go. The power play for the Seattle Kraken, that is Nugent Hopkins out there killing penalties. He is an important piece of the Oilers offense, that much is for sure. You'd love to see Ryan Nugent-Hopkins be a key member of the Oilers for the rest of his career and maybe sign one more contract before he's up and done. Retire at 40. That seems like a nice even round number for a 22-year career for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. He might do the old Wayne Gretzky and just do the 20, but you know what I mean, is this one's a battle along the near side wall. Behind the net now, Gord has the puck. He tries to flip up through the middle, can't do it there, and this one will now be picked up and fired down the right wing all the way down to Philip Grubauer by the Edmonton Oilers. He'll leave it there as Seattle reloads the power play one more time with 7:07 to go in the power play time, or in the period, sorry, as Beniers gets spun off the puck and then the Oilers almost stole it away. Noah Philp didn't quite realize what a gift he had in his feet entirely, and this puck battles up to the near side. Fleury back over to the far side point, down low, reloading again at the point one more time. Down low we go, and oh man, Olivier Rodrigue able to steer that puck away as this one comes up around behind the net. Shot fired down by Kemp into the Seattle zone. 40 seconds to go in the power play for Seattle as Grubauer will leave this puck behind for Fleury. 6.5 to go in this second period of play, as this will be Winterton turning this puck over to Sam O'Reilly. He almost was able to steal that one away as Rodrigue just jams it there for Stetcher. Puck's going to bounce off the boards into the neutral zone, and that will load up Fleury, who will stay out there on this power play again with 15 seconds to go. Big collision there in the neutral zone. Ends up an Oilers player went down, maybe a stick in the feet or something. 6 minutes remain in this second period. All I got to do is stay awake for 6 more minutes. Oh boy, I'm liking my chances here as the Oilers are out of the penalty box now. Here comes Ben Gleason to help the Oilers defense out as Gleason skates into the zone. Bouchard's going to flip up. Gleason's going to skate to the bench ASAP and allow the Oilers to get that third forward on the ice here, as this will be turned over now for Nugent Hopkins. Nuge across the line. He loads up Matt Savoy, and Philip Grubauer did not look like he was certain he had it, but the save made nonetheless is a nice little play there by Nuge to get Savoy wide open. And Savoy definitely sprung across the line there, and then look at that save from Philip Grubauer. You love to see it. So there you go, first NHL game. And you've got this gentleman joining us here as Robert and Menno joining in from the Netherlands here this evening. So love some folks from overseas heading over into Edmonton Oilers territory for a hockey game as they're partying it up here in Rogers Place this evening. Everybody enjoying the vibes for them. As we got the Kissin' Country selfie cam right now as well. And yeah, we'll continue on here, friends, as we are just about up and wrapped over the live stream for this point. Looking to see if we've got any update on, update on one. You know that guy, Calvin Picard. Hopefully we do. No update on Patrick Laine nor David Reinbacher for the Montreal Canadiens. Anything else here? Don't think so. I think we're all good. Logan Thompson paying tribute to Mika Kiprusoff with his Capitals mask design. Oh boy, that thing is an instant top 10 mask in the NHL right there. The old flaming skull, but also the screaming eagle. That thing is absolutely unbelievable right there. So see what happens. But yeah, for the Edmonton Oilers right now, we're just going through the old crowd. Okay. 5:35 to go in this second period, friends. We are almost up and done, I promise you. I am done after the second period simply because I just do not have any more gusto to go. As it sounds like one of my family members down there in Calgary might be looking to get a little Saturday night party going. Already has, but yeah, we'll see what happens here as we just got to finish off the live stream right now. Sorry, friends, trying to... I love doing crazy stuff on Saturday night. Anyway, Seattle with the puck inside the neutral zone here. They're across the Oilers line, busting down. Here's Beniers in front, almost fed McCann. Borgen down in the near side corner. He's trying to get past Ekholm. The Oilers have kind of slowed down on the dumb penalties here a little bit in this second period. Across the line now, they're going to get to the attack. Here's McDavid busting across the line. He was scaring me there. I thought he was gone into the end wall dangerously, but thankfully not. And here's the Oilers regrouping the puck inside their own zone. The pass into the far side corner, back to the blue line here. Across now Seattle will get it going again on the attack. They're over into the Oilers' end. This will be Gord turning back to the blue line, making a terrible pass. And Peter, if I didn't have the idea before live streaming that I was going out to try and find something to do tonight after the game, well, I'd probably be staying home. But yeah, I'm looking to rip out on a Saturday night. I have a family member in town that's not usually in town, so try and make something happen with free day tomorrow, a Sunday. Not very often we both be able to get together guilt-free on a Saturday night, so we'll see what happens. But everybody's enjoying tonight's hockey game pretty well so far. We'll have the face-off between O'Reilly and Gord with 4:18 to go here in this second period of play, as this will be fired across to the far side. Boards down inside the Oilers zone. Here's O'Reilly battled along the end wall, and just knowing that he's been battled a few too many times like that just gives me a little bit of sense of danger there for him if he gets into real NHL competition this year. But there's Podkolzin with a big jolt along the end wall. Love to see him jumping up and throwing a hit, and the Oilers all of a sudden starting to slam the bodies into the boards a little bit here in this one. 3:47 to go in this second period. Across the line, it's tipped past the Oilers defense. Seattle to the attack. Time winding down in this second period. Kemp falls to his knees. Puck's played to the middle. A shot from the point. Save made as Rodrigue got run over there as well. You don't like seeing that. The Oilers goaltender's taking some contact. So we'll see what happens. All right. 3:33 to go in this second period. 3-2 the score for Seattle. The fans in the stands going nuts, showing off the old Oilers logo. Everybody's enjoying the heck out of being on camera tonight. Looks like everybody's really having a good night down at Rogers Place. 3:28 to go here in this second period to play. Across the line, the Oilers somehow get it into the Kraken zone, but that was about it. And then they recover the puck in the neutral and pick it back up, as this one's going to go to the far side. Puck is rolled along the wall inside the Seattle zone. Here comes a nice hit from Peterson, who just kind of got in on that forecheck, and now all of a sudden a tie-up between two Oilers and two Kraken players. Three Oilers, three Kraken players. Everybody's getting tossed around here. Both teams battling. 2:56 to go. Philp, we'll see it go behind the net. 2:50 now to go in this second period as time winds down. The Oilers still looking for a couple more shots this period. They've kind of gone quiet after the second half of the period got underway. And Seattle will jolt it out into the neutral territory, and it bounces around a couple of times. There's going to be a puck handled over to McDavid. He couldn't hold on to it. And this puck's just bouncing around the Kraken blue line area. Ultimately, McDavid at his own line comes up with it, turns on the Jets. Here's McDavid through five guys. Almost able to get that going. I would love a burger right now if somebody would deliver one to my house out in the middle of nowhere. 2:16 to go here in this period. Is here's Seattle on a 2-on-1, scores. Olivier Rodrigue beat bad on a 2-on-1. I mean, yeah, you know what? The pass wasn't really a threat there. Myers was shooting the whole way, but just an ugly, ugly goal there for Olivier Rodriguez. Myers just fires it up over top of the shoulder. Terrible angle for Rodrigue. Big time corner there for Myers, and that's a tough goal against if you're the Edmonton Oilers. To make it 4-2 for Seattle, again, means nothing. And at the end of the day, the concern level's minor about it. But you want to see better out of Rodrigue, and you've seen two tough pucks beat him here tonight, as Ryan's going to get that one going off the face-off win. Lavoie's back on the ice. If you're looking for an answer here, it's got to come from these guys. You got Mike Hoffman, you got Derek Ryan, and you got Raphael Lavoie on the ice here, as this is now Seattle back the other way. The shot blocked there by Bouchard. Now here comes the Oilers attack. Hoffman out wide over to Derek Ryan. Derek Ryan looks over now. Here's Ekholm. The shot scores. Matthias Ekholm, I told you these guys needed a response. They got it. What a shot from Matthias Ekholm, and what a pass from Derek Ryan to find him, as that's a couple of great plays there by Matthias Ekholm here tonight, bringing the crowd to life after trailing 4-2, right back in it. The Edmonton Oilers get it going. What a shot from Ekholm. What a goal. Kind of beats Grubauer cutting down the angle there. And What a shot from, wow, I mean, same kind of thing. Grubauer way out to beat that puck, and somehow, some way, Ekholm sneaks it upstairs on Phillip there, and it's 4-3 for the Oilers. So suddenly you get a couple of shots, you get a couple of goals, $1:44 to go here in this second period of play. We're back under action as we'll finish the Pizza 73 replay, and here come the Oilers to the far side. Up the middle now, it comes across into the neutral zone. Big hit there by Kemp. Ultimately gives Seattle a puck on an out of the position play. As here's Tanev as Ryan and Hoffman pick up the assist, and that was a nice little play by Derek Ryan. I will admit that. Nice to see Mike Hoffman get a point as well. He's all of a sudden starting to dilly up some points here in camp, so it's been a good, decent go for him. Seen a lot of him throughout this camp. Shot save made in front by Olivier Rodrigue. Good to see him bounce back after allowing that fourth goal. And here's now Riker Evans turning it over to the Oilers. And one last gasp here with 55 seconds to go. I think Podkolzin just ran a guy over. That should be a penalty if all serves throughout this game so far. Likely not here for the Oilers, though, as the referees will continue to let it play on. McDavid turns this puck into a good direction inside the Seattle zone. Hyman plays off Riker Evans. The shot down low for McDavid. Off the man behind the net. Here's now Nugent Hopkins chasing it back to the blue line for Bouchard. Top guys on the ice right now. The top line for the Edmonton Oilers. Out there, Nuge with a chip play. What a little bit of deceit there. He was going forehand pass, ended up backhand shot. 21 seconds to go. The Oilers will queue up a play here in the offensive zone to try and get something done. Is a nice little deceitful play there by Nuge. As you look at that, he had the pass loaded over and then just ultimately drifted a frisbee on net there on Grubauer. And here's the fans celebrating in the stands one more time with 21.7 seconds to go. We're about ready to rip as here's Seattle across the line to the near side. The shot loading up, drifts right through the blue paint. 12 seconds to go in this second period, and the puck will come into the Oilers' offensive zone. Here's McDavid. The pass over Hyman puts it off a Grubauer and wide with no time left on the clock. That will do it for the second period of play, friends, as we go to checking the stats after 40. How about Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Jacob Melanson, Edward Sale, and Noah Philp scoring the goals so far tonight? John Hayden in that first period, and then John Hayden, Ben Myers, and Matthias Ekholm in the second period. It's 4-3 for Seattle after 2 periods of play. Thank you so much to all of you who spent the entire night with me here so far on the live stream. Appreciate you hanging out. It's been a great time. Look forward to doing it again here soon in this NHL preseason. Just as we go as well, we are at a grand total of, a grand total of 201 hours streamed this evening. So thank you for hanging out this evening. Again, the Oilers have one more period to go. They got to find a way to score on the power play, I think, one time tonight with all the big boys in the lineup. 23-18 the shots, and the Oilers have thrown the body noticeably tonight a total of 17 times. So that'll do it for me this evening. Again, one more reminder to you, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. These are a regular occurrence in the NHL regular season. Love to have you aboard. For right now, though, I am up on out of here. We'll catch you next time. Thanks for being aboard on Dolynny.